What's up, everyone? This is Deeg, and I'm bringing you Basement Side today for the first time in 2021. Happy New Year to everyone. Happy holidays. Today, doing something a little bit different. And I have to admit, I'm feeling a bit rusty after taking about a month off. Um, Last year, Basement Side Chats was a podcast that started the first week of January, and over the course of the year was many different things that changed over time. And I wanted to talk about that, about how the podcast progressed, lessons learned, things I'm going to take into 2021, and things I'm going to leave behind. Um, I also want to reflect on my experience getting into streaming and just also maybe briefly on some personal takeaways from the year, as well as some of the notable experiences I had playing various releases from the year, as well as titles that I just finally got around to or came back to in 2020. That's the plan. Um, After I get done with this retrospective, my intent is to pivot into some gameplay. I'm going to load up the newest World of Warcraft expansion. Has a pseudo rogue like dungeon feature called the Tower of Torghast, and a new wing of it was unveiled this week, which is 3 times longer than usual. And I'm going to scale that thing. So stick around if that's of interest. And I'm going to let's just get into it. Um, Typically, I have a guest with me to bounce off of, and I feel a lot more secure in getting things going. So this is something of a fresh experience, but we're gonna stick with it. Um, so okay, to start, Basement Side Chats. The podcast was many things, but and it had many purposes. But I think it would be appropriate to frame it, um, at least in a retrospective format, according to its original intents. And they were at the time, didn't feel very simple, but in hindsight, I think they become quite clear. Essentially, in 2018 and 2019, I was going into my 20th year of playing games online, and in that period, I'd had some incredible experiences, some incredibly bad experiences, and of course, thousands and thousands of meh experiences. And I had become frustrated with not feeling like I was getting what I wanted out of gaming. There have been periods in my life, especially when I was in my 20s, where gaming absolutely took over my life. I was using it as a way to numb myself and to escape from my problems. Coming back in my 30s, I managed to carve out a niche for gaming that wasn't dangerous for me anymore. There was no chance of it taking over my life. There was no chance of it destroying my career or my relationship or anything else. But all the same, it didn't feel like the release and the connection that I wanted it to be. Um, so at the end of the year, I thought after having a unique experience in the middle of 2019, where I actually sat down and talked with a friend of mine. Shout out to Bad Luck, my buddy Taylor, just about games, and listening to it. I had recorded it for some reason. I think I was trying out streaming, just testing it. And listening back to it, I thought to myself, I could do this, like this could be a thing. Um, I would like to listen to this, and I think others might too. And so that created the idea of the podcast. And around right after the turn of the new year in 2020, I decided to give it a shot. So doing something creative was one of the goals of the podcast, always. Trying to shape a more meaningful social gaming experience by doing something creative. And lastly, one of my other goals at the time was to stimulate activity in the Discord server that I manage. About a year and a half ago, a bunch of my old gaming buddies reconnected over Discord, and I took the initiative to get a server set up, and it's grown a lot since then. There have been times where we've played a lot of games together, and times where all we really do is complain to each other about our spouses and our careers. Um, but I thought that the podcast would be a way to um, potentially stimulate people to want to discuss things more and play more games together. And I think that there was some limited success there, but overall, um, so let's review. Um, how did these things pan out? So goals of number one, talking about making social gaming experiences enjoyable again, or finding something meaningful about social gaming experiences. And number two, doing something creative. So the the first attempt at a podcast was something that ended up being a little overly structured, and it was our first show where we talked about the decade's worst and best video games. Logical thing to do on the first week of a new decade. When I say we, I should be clear. I'm talking about my friends Matt and Taylor, who were critical at the start of the podcast, and were on almost every single one that I did. I didn't really know what the podcast needed to be, but I was familiar with the idea of a few friends who were passionate about something mutually, just talking about stuff, and that's where it began. So, decade's worst and best. That was a 3 hour long conversation that proved out that it was possible to have interesting discussion, but didn't seem to go much of anywhere. That said, another thing that I came away from that experience with was the notion that I needed to keep doing more to learn more about what the podcast needed to be. Um, and when I say it didn't go anywhere, I'll come back to that and talk more about what I mean by it didn't go anywhere. It's very specific, and it'll make more sense in the context that I'll arrive at shortly. So what happened next? Well, I started doing interviews. I interviewed my good friend Dospak. Shout out to Kelly. That's his name. And I also interviewed the guild leader of a Guild Wars guild that I played with, named Muriel the Moon. And those were really enjoyable conversations. And they were the first interviews that I did live. And they really activated in me the desire to talk to people in this format and the power of the interview. The first two shows, for the most part, I mean, I did stream them live, but there was no live viewership, and I didn't expect there to be, so that's fine. But later shows, like when I talked to Muriel the Moon, a few people from Muriel's community jumped in and watched the show, and that was the beginning of me realizing the power of tapping into neighboring communities in order to create more exposure for the work that I'm doing. But largely, although I enjoyed the interview format, I was still wanting to iterate on the idea of having a show focused on game discussion. And so we tried a bunch of things. Let's pull up my channel and see what we tried. See what I tried. Doing stream things. Why could I not find this playlist? There we go. There it is. And you see the attractive Roy right at the top. So we did 35 shows last year. 35 shows totaling around 75 hours of content. And you can see the first three I was just talking about. Oh, actually, I skipped over my buddy Davis. How could I forget Davis? A guy I've talked with a few times last year. Actually, probably other than Matt and Taylor, who I started the podcast with, probably the person who spent the most hours talking to me on it. So yeah, the decade's worst and best. Then I had a series of a few interviews, and then the fifth show was called Game Monetization. Here was where I started trying stuff. So the Game Monetization show was one where I talked to Matt, and Matt has professional experience dealing with monetization, not in video games, but in other consumer industries. And I knew that he would have interesting things to say. And so I interviewed him about game monetization. I think that was kind of a neat discussion. Um, but I think in hindsight, it would have been stronger as an interview with Matt's name on it. So that's something that was a missed opportunity, but maybe an opportunity to come back to later. Then I talked to another friend of mine, a friend of a friend, actually, who was passionate about Destiny. Because for me, I've always been interested and curious about the game Destiny, and that was an okay discussion. Um, Again, very game focused, and I went down the line for a few months. You can see Valentine's Day special. That's a fun one where I talk with Matt and Taylor about getting our spouses to play video games with us. Does Destiny 2 alienate socializers? I was playing with the idea of maybe the podcast is like this short topical format. You can see only 30 minutes. I started talking about Diabolical. That's a game that a bunch of people in my Discord community were excited about, and we all just jumped on and talked about it. Time Tortoise. This was a discussion with Matt and Taylor that had absolutely no. It was kind of like a variety show. Hey, what's up, Lex? Thanks for dropping in, man. I'm talking about the year in retrospect. I don't know how entertaining this is actually going to be. I hope some people find it interesting, but for the most part, I just kind of feel like I have to do it before I move on. Um, there's a certain utility in formalizing your thoughts into words. Uh, Now that I've said that, though, I'm going to stop dragging everyone through the muck here. We care about 2021, sir, and upcoming podcasts. Well, that's a relief to me, brother. And I'm going to get there. I have some plans for the year, and we're going to talk about them. So anyway, the podcast just meandered down this trail of trying things. I had a glimmer of something when I interviewed Mukas, who's a popular Planetside content creator, and I saw that video on YouTube did pretty well. Again, name recognition, activating interest. And then I started tunneling into the Planetside community a bit, talking to people about the Outfit Wars competition that occurred earlier in the year. Talking with the project leader on the Planetside Forever project, which is a project to emulate and recreate Planetside 1 as a fan project. And then I started to figure out any free energy gamers. You have to ask Mukas about that. And then I started to really lean into the whole interview idea. Right around the middle of the year, when I had a string of a few really, really popular and successful interviews, at least at the time at the scale I was at, Commander Sirius actually approached me about being on the show. I think that he saw my Moocast podcast and got the idea that he wanted to do more collaborative stuff with people. And that was the first show that I did where I felt like there was really something that could move. Really a lot of free-floating energy to capture. And then after that, I managed to wrangle the lead designer of PlanetSide, Rel, and that blew up completely. And then I talked to at the time, the biggest Guild Wars streamer, I think still the biggest Guild Wars streamer, Mighty Teapot. And I spent a few months talking to different people from the Guild Wars community, the Planetside community, and eventually World of Warcraft Classic. But I settled into this idea that it's about the people, which made a lot of sense for me anyway. I think I'm primarily a socializer when it comes to video games. And in a way, sitting down to talk to people in this long form and being able to discuss topics patiently and with as much detail as is needed was really, really, well, first off, enjoyable. And secondly, something that I felt like I was in a position to do uniquely compared to the rest of what other podcasters and content creators have done. And with the Rel podcast, I got the idea of it would help people to enjoy the content if they didn't feel like they have to watch 3 hours. So I broke it up into smaller clips. And with the Rel podcast and with the Mighty Teapot podcast, I did a ton of clips. And that was cool because it was successful in getting people to see my stuff who I don't think would normally watch a long podcast. But it took a lot of my time, a fuckload of my time. And I had to schedule an extra week between podcast engagements in order to make time for me to do that. And I hated that work. Like, I hate editing video. And so, I still did a few more clips towards the end of the year, but I got to a point where, I just decided that as good as clips would be to have on the channel, it's not something that I can slow myself down to do. And I knew it was going to limit growth, but by pivoting away from the things that I'm not good at and that take away my time from being creatively fulfilled, it allowed me to focus on the stuff that I am good at and does give me creative juice back, which is important because I don't do this as a career. I do this as a hobby. It's after I do my job, after I take care of my chores, after I make sure my cat is in good shape, although cats take care of themselves, let's be honest, and make sure my wife is happy, that's when I start doing this shit. So it can't be a slog. Lex says, yeah, that's my problem. I just jammed a 3-hour dick of a video into YouTube and call it a day. Even shortening stuff down to like a palatable hour, the analytics on watch time for it always suffers compared to some brain dead 10-minute video. Right. And I've gone back and forth with the question of like, how grabby do I want to be about trying to get people's attention? I saw stuff from a bunch of different people suggesting ways to get attention, and I've seen examples of creators who lean into things like giveaways to get followers and to get people to click on their shit. And I have always found that approach to be alienating and nauseating. And I knew I didn't want that for my channel. Then you do a really concise 10-minute video on something you care about and you're forced to leave stuff out that's important so you don't know. Yeah. Also, editing video just turns out to be hard. So I actually sat down a couple times to do this video that I'm recording live now, and had to stop doing it because I have to perform in order to coalesce my ideas. I don't know what it is. It's just something about me. And having an audience is really critical, even if it's just the person on the other side of the podcast or the chat. It really helps me. So this is what it's going to be for me in 2021. We're going to keep doing the podcast interviews. I'm going to double down on the conversational content because that's what keeps me going. And that's something that I can do. I can sustain as a hobby for as long as I want to. But let's talk about some things I'm definitely going to change from 2020 about the podcast. In 2020, I put a lot of pressure on myself to do something every single week. I knew that discipline was going to be important to make sure I didn't just have a good idea and do nothing with it, which is something I did for the previous 20 years. I played games online. I have been a clan, outfit, and guild leader in games. I have done community data analysis on stuff that people have found interesting or not, depending on what I did. I have contributed in a lot of ways to online communities in the past, but never felt like I've gotten what I've got back out of the podcast this year. And so it's also shaped the way that I play video games. I no longer feel like I need to play games to get really good at them, because I've realized that's kind of not my calling. I'm never going to be as good at clicking heads as you, Lex. I'm never going to be as good at tanking a dungeon as people who really devote themselves to it. I'm never going to be as good as streamers who make it their mission to be good at a game and to show that off to the world. I thought for a little while, and I'm ping-ponging all around my outline, which I guess is not that surprising. I thought for a little while that I might try to be a streamer. And let me pull this back. Yeah. So when I say be a streamer, like to me that means like I turn my stream on and then do stuff. And I try to get people to the stream and I try to build it and I try to have it be this thing, this community. Um, I think I've decided to let go of that idea to some extent because being on stream is not restful to me. It is inspiring and creative and necessary, but it's not restful. I'm an introvert. I recharge offline. Always been that way. Um, so I have to recognize in a dialectic fashion the fact that I both need to connect it with people and I need to disconnect from people. So being a streamer for me is off the table, which means I'm not going to be turning my stream on every single time I play a video game. In fact, I've been playing a lot of games offline in the last month, and it's been really, um, illuminating, um, in figuring out what I can get out of games offline versus online when it comes to streaming. When tried streaming myself doing gameplay last year, I found myself questioning the experiences I was having based on the amount of engagement I was getting from the stream, from the chat. If people were dropping by and talking to me, I felt like I was getting validated. And it was amazing and I loved it and I had a great time. But if no one dropped by, which is just statistically what happens when you're at my size and scale, um, then I kind of felt like I didn't get anything out of the time. I didn't get the recharge I needed. And I cannot base so much of my recharge on that RNG. However, in recent days, after letting go of the idea that I would be a streamer, I got sad. um, I got sad at the idea of only coming online to do podcasts because I do love that experience of communing with gamers. And the podcast is a fantastic manifestation of that. And it's going to stay focused on the one on one interviews because that's where it's great, I think. However, that format is not really a fantastic audience participation, chat participation format. And I do like hanging out with Twitch chat, and I do want to find a way to channel that. So here's what I think I'm going to do in 2021. The podcast will continue. I'm going to try to grow over time the scope of I'm trying to grow over time the types of people that I connect with. So 2020 was a lot of streamers. In 2021, I have a few developers for games you've heard of that I'm working with to try to get interviews set up. One should be come on, I think, pretty shortly, and some of the others are longer term projects. I'm also going to be trying to open up the podcast to content that's less directly focused on gaming. I don't know what that is going to look like exactly, but there are a number of thinkers who I think might be interested in coming on. People who do stuff that is game adjacent, and that will be, I think, a good next step for the podcast. I will still have streamers on, of course, and one of my long-term goals I'm working on primarily offline is to try to gain enough context on the monster, the beast, the Leviathan that is World of Warcraft to be able to talk about it intelligently with people, to be able to put a story and paint a picture in my head of what has happened to it over the years. And I'll go on record saying I'm playing Shadowlands and loving it. Ian, I would love to talk to Ian. Although if I were him, I probably would not want to talk to me. Because I'm going to start with game stuff and then very quickly all the high level balance stuff that he, I don't know. There are a lot of people I'd love to talk to. Ian is definitely on the list. You've been doing reacts to live PS2 content this past year and a half, so you've enjoyed it. Don't even have to play the game and have had pretty good reception. Yeah, React content is Interesting. I did my own little forays into it too. There was a moment where I was playing Skyrim on stream, and you talked about, and you were actually there, Lex, and we were talking about the Stadia guy's tweet. And that was, I think, a fun video. Uh, Swirlos, ask Ian, DPS Warrior, why you do this. Yeah, okay. I have some part of my outline where I'm going to talk a little bit about the games I played, and we're going to get there. We're going to get there. But yeah, I will write those down. If you have any suggestions of either guests that you'd like to hear from or questions for those guests that would be good to ask, fire them my way, man. I write all this stuff down. So talking to developers, talking to people who are game adjacent thinkers, I've really been inspired by a couple of people in recent months. One of them is Lex Friedman, who's an AI researcher and podcaster. And I learned about him from his appearances on Joe Rogan. And he's this like romantic nerd who's talking to everyone who will talk to him. And he really focuses on academics and business executives. And he's exploring these ideas to him that are hard to grapple by having all these conversations. And I feel like that's kind of what I'm doing too. And I've watched him talk to people from all over the place. And I really want to gain the competence to talk to people who aren't necessarily approaching life through the lens of being a gamer. But I'm willing to grow into that. And another person who's really inspired me was, it just popped right out of my brain. I'm sure it'll come back. God, that bothers me. Okay. Boomer moment. Anyway, moving on. Charlie Kirk. I think politics might be one of the only things I will steer away from. At least if I do talk about politics, it'll be with like at the theory level. There's a whole lot of perspectives I could share there that I won't. And no, Charlie Kirk is not someone who's inspired me, although I do love all the memes about him. So, okay. We are going to do more interviews, but I'm not going to probably hold myself to this idea of a weekly podcast format anymore, as much as I'd like to. I'm going to be pursuing guests I want to talk to, and I think have something to share, who have interesting perspectives they can share with the world, and tunnel into those. So, more than likely, there will be fewer podcasts, but I hope that means that they're more interesting. That's a risk that I'm taking because one of the reasons I really wanted to be consistent last year is because I knew it would help me hone my craft. Practice makes perfect. I put like 75 hours into podcast content last year. I'm sure if I'd done 150, there's a possibility I'd be even better at it. But right now I feel like I am at a level that I'm comfortable with. And I'm playing more with who I'm talking to. Anyway, I'm repeating myself. Thinking out loud, folks. Can't be platforming toxic elitist infantry players. Bad for the brand. I think platforming toxicity always has a risk. One of the interesting things that I've noted is that you tend to be associated with the people who are guests on your show and their views and what they're known for, regardless of what's actually discussed. So, like, I had a number of people on from the PlanetSide community last year, and I have a fairly strong sense that a lot of the opinions people formed about me and my take on PlanetSide were just made by association. First, I had Mukas on, and then I had Commander Sirius on, and then I had Rel on. And I think, and part of the reason I had A-Flick on, in addition to the fact that I liked the guy and thought that we could have a cool conversation, was because he was actually a try-hard infantry player. And I knew I could talk to him at that level, even though I hadn't been part of the try-hard infantry game for a long time. And I could reset that association. And Lex, I think, yeah, you actually did a critique of one of my podcasts that I never got around to watching. You listened to what I was saying and found out I was more like us on the other side. Yeah. Well, I try not to be partisan, right? I try to mine the truth in each side. But I think that it's really risky to attack the avenues of skill expression in a game that endure over time. And people who are tryhards are people who just really care about those avenues of expression and don't want them to be removed or diminished. And I really respect that. Okay. So what's next? A sip of water. Oh, yeah. Okay. So the other part of this thought of probably not going to have consistent weekly podcasts, going to have them as often as possible according to people's availability, focusing on guest quality. But what I think I will do to fill in the gaps of regular content and to also not miss the boat on what Twitch could be for me and for people who enjoy my content, is I'm going to do a weekly show. Now, I think this is like kind of like the first one of the year. And I think what it's going to look like is news and commentary and discussion, probably some React content, mixed with some kind of gameplay. I've definitely learned that there are some games that I don't want to play on stream. I can think that actually a few games really pop out at me for that. But there are good stream games too. And I'm going to try that tonight. So after I get done with this retrospective discussion, I'll be playing the new pseudo rogue-like dungeon in World of Warcraft called the Tower of Torghast. They just unveiled a new triple size, triple length mode for it that I'm going to try to brave. So fingers crossed there. Hope I don't get destroyed. Hope I get carried. That would be great. And yeah, that's going to be something I'll try. That's a lot of words for maybe not a very large idea, but I spent a lot of time thinking through this stuff and appreciate everyone who's listening to it. Okay, so what else are we not doing in 2021? Probably not broadcasting TFC anymore. So for anyone who watched my content during the summer, you might remember that I did a lot of broadcasting of player community organized matches from Team Fortress Classic. Out of nowhere, once COVID settled in, some members of the Team Fortress Classic community who came back and found each other on Discord decided to make a beer league where we come together and we relive the old glory days of clan-based Team Fortress Classic, where we have identities and rivalries, which actually panned out. We actually did have some new rivalries come out of it, even with such a tiny community. And I had a lot of fun, both learning how to cast matches and actually doing the casts. I felt like I put OBS through the ringer to do as much of it with it as I could figure out how to do. And I developed a real taste for actually doing casting. I don't know if it's a skill I will use again, but we'll have to. I'm gonna state if there's another game that I learn really well that's current where there's an opening, perhaps it's something I'd consider. Planetside is something that I thought about doing casting for, but I just have no idea what that could even look like. Probably not competent enough to cast the Infantry League, and everything else is pretty much dominated by the big Planetside creators out there. So yeah, Team Fortress Classic was It's an old ass game that had a real nice run last year, and I actually just learned today that they're not doing a season 4 of the league, which is sad. They're going to be setting up some tournaments, I think, but once again, as it was back in the day, uh, Team Fortress Classic clan play is once again dead, and I am sad. I did what I could to extend that life, and I would be open to doing more, but I think that community is just ready to move on, no matter what I want. So that's what it is. Because of the focus that I've just discussed around the weekly show and the podcast, I will, I think, be streaming games from time to time. That's just like casual content, no face cam, anything like that. And I made a second Twitch channel called Deeg Casual, which this channel will host when I go live. So if you want to just drop by and say, hey, feel free to do so. But when I'm streaming there, it'll be prioritizing the game first, and then in the chat second. So just something to be aware of. I thought I was going to have a lot more to say about Team Fortress Classic, actually, but I've done a ton of content on it last year, and I really feel like almost everything that needed to be said about it has been said. One thing I will thank the Team Fortress Classic for is I actually got my affiliate on Twitch the first day that I actually did match casting. Had almost 100 people turn out, and just boom, like that. I was able to turn this into a pay-to-win factory. It's ebbed and flowed in terms of people wanting to be subscribed to the channel, a few donations, but it's never been a focus I've been willing to prioritize. Just because I'm in a position where I'm able to support myself outside of this content. And that gives me the luxury of focusing on what's meaningful to me rather than focusing on what gets the best return on time investment in terms of dollar bills. So I'm hoping I'm getting a higher return, meaning return by doing that. That's the assumption that I'm putting into it. So yeah, 2020 was, from a streaming perspective and from a casting perspective, a podcasting perspective, was all about learning that my strength is talking to people. That's what I love to do. And because I love doing it, I can do a lot of it. I can iterate on it and get better at it. So the podcast converged on this one-on-one format, which I'm going to stick with. Early on, I've been focusing on where I feel like I'm comfortable with people who want to talk to me about games where I've put in my 1,000 hours or 5,000 hours, whatever it is, and just building the brand. Like, what is all of this? I don't know if people really need to know who I am or what my name is, but I think Basement Side's a neat brand, and it's something I really want to help grow. So hopefully this year we'll do that. And on to bigger, better, and hopefully more interesting things. Okay. So what else? Another sip. Hopefully I'll get better at doing this solo content. Boy, I feel like a fish out of water without having someone to talk to and pace myself. Okay. A few other things. So next I want to do a brief trip report on games on games that I played in 2020. Lex says time to react to the new Beetlejuice OP video. Who made that? Lex, did you make that or did someone else? I don't know if I have much of an opinion about it, but a friend of the podcast. Well, that's of the Australian variety. Oh, okay. Kamikaze, huh? Well, maybe I'll check that out. Probably won't do that tonight. I think tonight we're going to focus on the retro, and then I'm going to jump into a game. But I am collecting links for the next time I do this next week. Blades of grass complaining about the lawnmower. That is poetic. That paints a fucking picture. Speaking of, um, so game experiences I had last year. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, and a few of these things I want to tunnel into more in the coming weeks. But I'm just gonna briefly talk about a few. Hopefully, briefly talk about a few of these. So the first on my list I have is WoW Classic. Technically, I played WoW Classic in 2019, but I didn't have a podcast then, so who cares? So this is my chance. Um, I made a video about WoW Classic on my channel before I started doing the podcast. And time for fresh. I think it could be where I I remarked at how interesting it was that WoW Classic was even coming back. Um, a game like World of Warcraft that has to grow or die and had done so for 15 years, getting to a place where there is enough of an outcry to actually splinter the player base to a version of the game that was before so many refinements, optimizations, improvements, all the things that the game's done over the years. And I thought that it would potentially, I wondered if it might cause a ripple in the industry, of publishers realizing that maybe some gamers wanted a less streamlined, a less match made, a less transactional experience with video games. And something, because one of the things that WoW Classic did really well is it inconvenienced you and it made you talk to people to overcome inconveniences. And I'm really talking about the process of leveling and getting to know your community. When I talk about that, the top end of WoW Classic, which is what gets most of the press these days, the high end raiders, the raid buff loggers, that's a whole other world. And I knew at the end of phase 1, when I stopped playing, that was not something that I really needed to experience. A version of World of Warcraft, because World of Warcraft was a game that was made to have mysteries. And it was possible for it to preserve its mysteries in 2004 because there was no social media, because YouTube didn't exist, because Twitch didn't exist. And the way that you shared information was by talking to your friends, or if you were really enterprising, going to the elitist jerks forum. Best in slot, Chad Leather, human male warrior. Yeah, I remember back in vanilla being one of those warriors who always resisted wearing non-plate pieces, even though people were telling me it was better DPS. And getting made fun of. I got made fun of both for wanting to be a DPS warrior in vanilla and for being a DPS warrior who wore non-plate. But I did both. Totally different era. People didn't even realize that warriors were crazy DPS monsters. And it really shows how, and that's part of that. That's why I pulled out of that experience after a few months, because I felt like I'd gotten what was good out of it by leveling up and doing the first chunk of raid experiences. And I kind of thought at that time that I was going to be done with the World of Warcraft IP. Like, I'd had my nostalgia trip. I'd had my impressions of the game validated. It was as good as I remembered. It was as big feeling as I remembered. But I also made some deliberate choices to not play with GPS, to not play with the powerful add-ons that people have developed to play the game for you in many ways. I kind of kept my blinders on. And I think that that's an increasingly uncommon way to play World of Warcraft. And I believe that the way that the retail game has progressed over the last 17 years, 16, 17 years now, is really reflective of the changing landscape of gamers. And that's a topic that I want to tunnel into in the coming weeks, like I mentioned. Lower down on my list, and actually a game I'm still playing today, is World of Warcraft Shadowlands, which is the newest expansion for the retail branch of the game. And honestly, it held no interest to me until the day I learned about covenants. What I knew about retail was exactly what Lex just said in the chat: accessibility. My understanding of the game is that it had sacrificed meaningful human and role playing interactions on the altar of accessibility and continual sensation of progress. The idea that the dopamine hit was the most important thing that you could do, and that people weren't a tool for unlocking that, they were a barrier. And I still think to a large extent the game is designed that way. But game designs for games like this change slowly over time. And one of the thoughts that I had is if WoW retail was to learn anything from Classic, we would see things getting dropped in slowly over time, not all at once. And I thought I saw that when I heard about covenants. So what are covenants? Covenants are a big system in Shadowlands where player power is tied in, story is tied in, cosmetics are tied in, actual content is tied in. All these things are gated behind covenants, and there are 4 you can choose from. But you can't pick and choose, say, I want this from Covenant 1, I want this from Covenant 2. You can't have everything, which is a path that I understood that World of Warcraft had gone down for a number of years. I was astonished when I got back in and leveled a new character. I came back to a warrior, which is what I've always played in WoW. And I found a class that had been designed around using every single global cooldown, which to me felt ridiculous. I felt like I was playing a rogue. And I was astonished at how well developed the matchmaking systems were and how little I needed to actually find a gaming community to actually enjoy group content in the game. It felt one step removed from what Guild Wars 2 does by having multiplayer content where you don't actually group at all. You just show up at a boss and other people are there. Swarlo says, I think most specs use every GCD these days. Yeah, I think that my impression from what I've seen and what you just said too, it agrees with that. That seems to be a design goal now, to make sure every single way to play World of Warcraft has a button you can press every single time you can press a button, which I kind of get because it raises the skill ceiling, which is meaningful to people who've been playing the game for a long time and take it seriously, which a lot of people do. And if you can do that in a way where if you just do the most important skills, but not every single skill, like the difference between someone who uses every global cooldown on a warrior, like filling in extra slams and stuff, versus someone who just does their mortal strikes and their overpowers. Okay, I'm not going to get into that. That's way too detailed of a conversation, and one I'm not competent enough to have yet. But yeah, it felt like a game that desperately wanted me to play it. Whereas WoW Classic felt like a game, like a world that didn't need me. It didn't need me. WoW Classic plays hard to get. But WoW Retail is desperate to have me. At least that's what the early experience felt like to me. I don't think that changed for me in Shadowlands until I got to max level and chose my covenant. Shout out to Repairman, continuing a subscription. What's up, brother? The covenants are a hugely important system, and it's gates power, cosmetics, story progression, and accessibility, and a whole bunch of things that you want. And rather than saying you can have it all, you can change specs whenever you want to. You can swap out skills whenever you want to. You can play this content and that content and lock out here and do this there. And you can even play across servers. You can change your race if you want. You can change to the other faction if you want. All these ways that the game has opened up access to all these things that used to be permanent choices, that used to be permanent role playing choices. And it's worth taking a moment to say that permanent choices in a role playing game are exceedingly important to identifying with your character. If you make a choice that you can undo anytime you want, then it's not a meaningful choice. For example, I primarily play Arms Warrior in Shadowlands, but it's fucking meaningless because I can change to Protection or Fury anytime I want. And the only sacrifice I make is being a little less familiar with the rotation and having gear that's slightly less well optimized. And that's an easy fix. So that doesn't matter. The fact that I play a human doesn't matter because I can change it anytime I want. The fact that I'm playing Alliance doesn't matter because I can change it whenever I want. The fact that I'm playing on a specific server doesn't matter. You get what I'm saying, right? But Covenants is different. Covenants, you can't change whenever you want. If I want to use the very strong execute ability from the Venthyr Covenant for warriors next week, it would be very hard for me to get that Covenant state ready for me to actually play at a competent level, to do all the progression. And it's painful to change. It's not practical to change your Covenant. You can only do it once a week, and there are additional gates even beyond that. So what Shadowlands is doing is it's reintroducing identity back into the World of Warcraft formula. And I think it's kind of working because Covenants are actually pretty damn cool. A buddy of mine leveled up a Death Knight to play with me. And he chose the Venthyr Covenant because he's a sadist, and he identifies with that. But then he decided to reroll because he wanted something that was a little more competent in PvP. He chose a Paladin because everyone gets erased by rat Paladins, and it's an easy thing to look towards. I'm sure he had other reasons too. But he decided that he didn't want to play the Venthyr Covenant. And you know what he told me? He said he didn't like spending time in the zone for the Venthyr called Revendreth, which is dreary and needlessly complicated and hard to get around. It's punishment. It's a sadistic zone. It's themed along the same lines of the actual faction, which is brilliant. It should be that way. He said, no, I want to play the faction you're playing, Greg, because I was playing a faction called the Kyrian, which are kind of like the angels of Shadowlands, the angels of the afterlife. They're if you've ever died in World of Warcraft, you know that you spawn at a spirit healer, a kind of angel, and that those are Kyrians essentially. I think that was retconned in with the Shadowlands expansion, and it's a beautiful zone of rolling fields and cliffs and like lazy energy streams, like rivers in the sky. And it's an easy place to be. Of course, there is also some unique power ramifications for Paladin with choosing Kyrian that are positive. So he could have chosen Kyrian or a different one, but he went with that one because it felt better. Like he made a choice that wasn't based only on power. And there are a lot of people in the World of Warcraft community who are annoyed that you have to choose between aesthetics and power. You can't have a perfect version of both. And I love that because it means the choice I make is something I can identify with, because that's the way reality actually works. You don't get to have the best of everything. You get to choose your sacrifice and make the best of what you've chosen and make that part of your identity, shape your identity. I love that. It feels great. It suggests to me that Blizzard was learning lessons from the reintroduction of Classic, at least as far back as it takes to build an entire expansion and release it in at the end of 2020. And that's why part of why I'm enjoying it. Because not only am I actually enjoying the moment-to-moment gameplay, and do I actually think that they pulled off a great expansion release, but I think that there's probably more to come, and I'm really excited to see what that is. And I'm really trying to learn the story of how the game got to be where it was in Battle for Azeroth, which by all accounts was a horrendous RPG experience where in order to give people enough dopamine hits of power progression, they introduced endless loot that never ended. And it was an eldritch hell that everyone despised, which thankfully seems to be they've retired a lot of the endless gearing systems from that. But anyway, I'll be talking more about World of Warcraft in the future, I'm sure. I'm not going to belabor it any more than I already have. Let's talk about other experiences that I had in 2020. Um, After I stopped playing WoW Classic at the end of 2019, I played Monster Hunter World for a little while. Actually, I should say I played like 120 hours. I actually fucking love that game. Monster Hunter World has some of the most fun 3D combat in a game, third-person combat that I've ever played. It's slow, it's clunky, but it rewards skill, and it rewards anticipation, and it rewards understanding. I will say that by the time you get to the end game of Monster Hunter and you realize that the whole thing is just a boss rush, all the little flavor around it, where there's the story and there's the having a character, starts to drop away. And when you're connecting with people in order to get loot done. And it just lost me. I actually bought the expansion for it at the start of the year. And I put an hour in and then never came back to it. Just felt like I didn't need another game that was based on ticking achievement boxes and endlessly progressing gear. This isn't what motivates me. Okay. What else did we play? PlanetSide 2. Boom. Goddamn. PlanetSide had a fucking fantastic year. It's a game that still has a ton of problems. A ton. But it's still unique. Because it turns out building an MMO PvP shooter sandbox is actually insanely difficult and risky. And thank God for John Smedley. Otherwise, we never would have had one. But it's kept plucky over the years. Something happened. There, we can speculate on what. Something happened, and all of a sudden, PlanetSide got its studio talent reorganized into its own masthead. And they expanded their development staff like 1,000-fold, like from like 5 people to like 35 people, and they put out a bunch of content. Some of it was pretty high quality, some of it was pretty low quality, but they're trying stuff. They were recognizing the fact that PlanetSide is got some MMO bones that need to be respected too, which I think is not very popular with a bunch of the PlanetSide faithful who've stuck with the game through thick and thin, but I think has potential to create some hooks for those who might otherwise bounce off of what, at the end of the day, can be just a PvP shooter experience that people could get a better version of by playing a game like Counter-Strike or Valorant or Call of Duty. Lex says, especially if you have no ideas or a miscast working on the game. I'm not sure what you mean, Lex. I think that the last few months for PlanetSide have been a little rockier. I don't think that the missions and campaigns hit with the same kind of fireworks as the start of the year escalation update where we got outfit wars and bastions. Also, people got used to the idea of the game getting regular updates very fast. So At the start of the year, we were all astonished that the game was getting any content at all. And like a starving person, anything tastes amazing. But then once you get used to not being starving anymore, you get a little more picky, I think. Um, the studio was sold uh, by Daybreak to a new company whose name escapes me, um, some Scandinavian publisher who I don't know anything about. And we'll just have to see what effect that has on the game. There have been initial optimistic sharings about it, but I think that you can't. I'm not sure how much you should trust developers sharing those kinds of insights publicly because it's to their advantage to do so, right? Not that they're mistrustful. It's just people would be inclined to be positive because that's the situation they need to be positive to work. And yeah, so for 2021, actually, we did a reaction stream to the reveal that Rel and Andy Seitz did of what they're going to be working on this year. And my biggest takeaway from that reveal is that like, all the stuff that they have coming out this year is like not even close to ready. Um, I think we have to look forward to a reimplementation of Outfit Wars that is more accessible to more people and probably more casual, which is, I think, a good direction to take it. And everything else, we're just going to have to wait and see, as it always is with PlanetSide. But as it always, it's always a game that I will come back to and enjoy just hanging out, talking shit with friends, and headshotting people. Something about that is always renewable no matter what else is happening. So I continue to have a warm place in my heart for the game, and I'm really proud of all the expansions that it made in 2020. And despite the fact that not everything really landed and there are some problems outstanding, I'm optimistic that about next year. And I've talked about it quite a bit in podcasts, so feel free to revisit any of those for comments in depth. Other games, Deep Rock Galactic. Deep Rock Galactic was a joy. I think Deep Rock Galactic is a case study on how to put heart into a game. It's a game that can be played single player or with up to 3 friends. And you play as a dwarf on a mining rig in space whose job it is to mine shit for the company. And the space rig has all kinds of flavor, and there are fun explosive barrel games, and there's a bar that you order drinks at, and there's a you can dance. There's a jukebox you can order up music and dance with your friends with. Emote rock and stone at each other, and you customize your armor and your pickaxe, and there are different guns. I put about 70 or 80 hours into it, and I loved every single minute of it. And I just felt like I'd experienced the whole game. It's a game that I would love a good excuse to come back to, and hope I'm watching out for that. The company making Deep Rock is the studio is fairly small, so I don't know what their appetite is for large changes and additions to the game. It seems like they're satisfied with a fairly um, methodical progression of content, which is probably paying off because everything that I see them do has been very high quality and obviously a logical expansion of what the game's already been doing. So yeah, Deep Rock's awesome. If you haven't tried it and you're up for a casual first-person shooter dwarf mining rig laser mining experience, I highly recommend it. Doom and Doom Eternal. Doom was undeniably a culturally important game. Doom Eternal was an attempt by the studio to take its gameplay up a notch, and I think it succeeded in doing that. Although I think along the way it might have lost some of the soul of Doom that people who are not people who like the feel of Doom but not necessarily the mechanics of Doom, who aren't interested in mastering video games, might have gotten out of Doom 2016. I myself started a Nightmare playthrough that I abandoned because my ego couldn't tolerate playing anything below Nightmare because I had friends who'd finished it there. But admittedly, I just didn't have the patience. Um, I may come back in some bored future moment and redo the game at a lower difficulty. That's what I did with Doom 2016. Is I ended up finishing it on, I think, ultra violence. And I found what I liked most about the game was actually the setting. I thought the lore was kind of cool. The feeling, of course, is totally unique. But whether you can dash in the game or double jump, like it doesn't. I'm not sure how much it matters to me. And I kind of relate to all the casual people who felt a little alienated by Doom Eternal and all the platforming and all the obsession with the gameplay systems, and perhaps not enough emphasis on the setting and the mood. Diabolical. Diabolical is the only relevant. Well, no, it's not the only relevant. It is an arena first person shooter, and it's well made. And it's been produced by a company owned and by former esports commentator James Harding. Too good. And it's a great game. And I played a bunch of it. I did a few content drops about it. But it's a game with an uncertain future. Um, all the money that the studio was putting into tournaments was just pulled back, actually in recent days, at the start of 2021. And it was announced that rather than putting money into esports tournaments, which effectively kills the competitive scene for the game, that they would be using those same funds to redevote to two new games the studio will be putting out, ostensibly using the same engine they developed for Diabolical, which I think is a pretty big feels bad, man, for any arena shooter player who put time and money into Diabolical. I know to me it feels like a bit of a betrayal, although my investment was not significant. Um, I'm probably going to have Davis back on, I imagine, in the near future when there's more to discuss to kind of review all of that. He spent a lot of time last year making a go at the esports scene for Diabolical and had some success. And I think he's decided to pull out from putting time into it now that this change has happened. So I might be absorbing some of that attitude, but it's a great game with a dubious future, as so many are. I have Skyrim on my list. Um, I'm not sure how much I want to say about Skyrim, but it's an amazing game that I love. It is totally unique, and I love the world of Tamriel. I tried an experiment where I started a new playthrough that was going to be all about reading books, but I think that was probably, I was trying to do too many things at once. I actually have a vision of potentially revisiting this in the future. If I ever put time into actually getting a Skyrim playthrough to the end game, where I've done most of the main story content, and maybe just have a few side quests left, I think that'd be a great time to maybe start streaming the game again. From the point of view of a character who's past his prime and who has had all the experiences the game has to share, and is now devoting his time to learning about the world and reading the books and spending time in his homestead, um, with tea and a good story, and maybe takes an occasional adventure out with rusty armor to as needed. I don't know. It's an idea that's still forming in the back of my head, but I think I've shelved the idea of playing this for a little while. I wax eloquently, or what I hope is eloquently, on the qualities of Skyrim in the very first podcast we did, uh, the decade's best and worst in episode number 1. So track that down if you're interested. Outer Wilds is on the list. This is an incredible game that I need to devote a weekend to, probably. Might be a good game to do stream for. Not sure. I did stream it a bit last year, and it's a remarkable, unique game. And I went too long between sessions of playing it, and I forgot everything, which made it difficult to reconnect with it. It's a game with a cool story to tell and a clockwork universe, and I don't want to give it short shrift. So it'll be coming off the shelf, I hope, sometime in 2021. But it's a game that'll wait for me too. It might be a few years, and that would be okay. I think it's the kind of game that if you've got a cabin in the woods with a gaming system and no internet, that you might want to take with you. Destiny Beyond Light. I'm gonna have a hard time keeping my comments short on this game, but I'm gonna force myself to. As with World of Warcraft, what got me reinterested in Destiny was seeing that the developer was going to be changing shit. And Bungie has slashed Destiny to ribbons with this expansion. They've sunset more than half of the weapons in the game, made them completely unusable for high-end content, which is all the content that you play once you've gone through the story. And they've introduced a new system where essentially any gear you get will be useless within a year. And so now the guns and the armor you play with is all stuff that's you've all gotten in recent history, which sounds okay. Like it sounds like World of Warcraft, right? Where you're always grinding out new gear, you're always replacing gear and upgrading it. But there's no transmog system in Destiny. And in Destiny, the guns are different than getting like a weapon in like a World of Warcraft type game. The guns all feel different. And if you put in the time to grind out a role, that it works great for you. So you can have a weapon, let's say a shotgun, like a first in, last out, that has hundreds of different combinations of perks. But you get that one perk combination and you work and you work and you get 50, 100, 150, 200 versions of that weapon. And the 201st drops and it has exactly the perk combination that you love. And you pour your love into that weapon and you use it. And it's part of your loadouts. And then one day, because it took you 6 months to grind out 200 rolls, 6 months later after you just got it, it's done. You can't use it in current content anymore. It feels like a real violation of the basic covenant that players have with the game of Destiny. And I think it's very alienating for people who don't play the game every day to know that anything that you get has no permanence. The connections you make to the guns are more important than a piece of gear in World of Warcraft that you just replace when you get more stats. Because in Destiny, it's not about having more stats, it's about having the right combination of things. It's about personalization, which makes it about identity. And they just make you throw that out every year. They also got rid of 2/3 of the content in the game at the start of the expansion. They have not brought in anywhere near enough to replace it. There's old content in the game that gives rewards that cannot be played in current content. It's fucking wrong, is what it is. And Bungie has some big balls to drag Destiny players through the mud like this. The promise that they've made is that it'll make it better. It'll make it possible for them to make a better overall weapon sandbox balance for the game that's more enjoyable, easier to support, and more able to be more successfully supported by Bungie. So far, I don't think they've shown that. And in fact, they've introduced a new power in the game that makes a complete joke out of PvP, the stasis power, which I admit is super fun and probably one of the best features of Beyond Light. And Beyond Light is also another interesting thing. It's the first content introduced to Destiny 2 that was originally planned for Destiny 3. Bungie went to people in the community and said, do you want Destiny 3? Or do you want us to keep improving Destiny 2, and everyone said keep improving Destiny 2. No one wants a relaunch, but I feel like Bungie forced a relaunch down the throats of their fans by getting rid of old content, for taking weapons out of people's hands, and not and bringing far less back in than they took out. And it looks like this is just going to continue to happen. There's a new wave of stories going around right now about how people are realizing that there's a new threshold they're getting to where a new set of weapons and armor are going to be sunset. People are doing the math to say you sunset 30 weapons and you only bring in 12 more. Why is the game shrinking? And I think it's a question that needs to be answered. And although we know that they are planning yearly expansions for the next couple of years, I think it's the basic formula that needs to be looked at. The basics of Destiny has always been its strength: the shooting and the powers. But in my opinion, the larger gameplay loops that include combat have always been the weakness. And I think it's never been weaker than it is now, probably. At least not since I played during Forsaken. All right, I failed to be brief, as promised. The only other game on my list is Cyberpunk, which everyone wants to talk about. I will say that I put in my 5 hours or so in Cyberpunk. I got through the intro sequence, and I got to the introduction of Johnny Silverhand. And I have some thoughts about the game, but I think that they're not competent enough because I haven't played enough. But I've also decided that I'm going to let myself play a more complete version of the game. Once it's been patched up, and once CDPR has maybe put in some DLC, which I think they'll probably do. And once the game gets some of the love it really needed and some of the extra development time that was sorely, sorely needed, there's a real story behind why CDPR pushed this game out the door in an unready state. And it's slowly unfolding, and we'll talk more about it. But it's a beautiful game with tragic flaws, and deserved a better shake. I will say one of the things that surprised me is, number one, just how much like The Witcher 3 it is. And then upon having that reflection, I surprised myself because I realized that meant that I bought into the hype. It's gaming in 2021. Okay. Enough about video games, or at least talking about them. Let's do some shout outs. There's some people who helped make all this happen. And then we're actually going to take a short break and load up some Torghast. So, this podcast, Basement Side, would never have happened without two good friends of mine, Matt and Taylor. Better known to many of you as Matt Dev or BR and Bad Luck. These were two guys who agreed to hop on the mic with me early on and try this out, see where it would go. They helped me learn what I did and didn't like about it, and they were there for me. Which is all you can ask for. So, huge amount of credit goes to them for this even getting off the ground. Thanks, guys. I'm also going to throw a set of parallel shout outs to, again, Matt and my other buddy, Dan. They're known as Repairman, because they were my co-casters during the experiment that I conducted with casting Team Fortress Classic. It's kind of hard to count the number of hours I put into that. It probably was way too many. But these two guys stepped up and made themselves part of what I was doing when I needed them. And I just got to say thank you. Also, there's people behind the scenes who have helped me out. And there's going to be some repetitions in this list as kind of producers on the podcast, where they've always been available for me to bounce ideas off of them, to do kind of help me do research, and to be a moderator on Twitch chat, although it's not often rowdy enough to warrant. And that's Repairman, Maxentius, and Omega. So thanks to you guys. And I'll throw Matt into that list too. Next, I want to thank members of the Basement Side community. So guys who are just friends of mine on the Discord who have jumped onto the podcast to talk to me about stuff that I've wanted to share with the world. And that list is WTF, Rug Cutter, Fat Thor, Doug TCK, Farm Cheese, Polarity, and DOS. Thanks to all you guys for jumping in and talking to me. And maybe we'll do it again. I also want to thank members of the Planet Side community who talked to me about Outfit Wars. Those were fantastic discussions. Really enjoyed them. And they come from the Recursion outfit. There's Sale, Disenfranchised, and Therum, and also from the BUA outfit, Madman. So thanks to you guys. I also want to thank all my guests who've actually shown up to talk to me and do this crazy ass thing. Dosepak, Davis, Muriel the Moon, Mukas, Neon Light, Nick Hotz, Commander Sirius, Rel, Mighty Teapot, Aflick, Cargos, MMO Inks, Kamikaze 78, Def Camp and Melderon, Easy Rocka, and Roy. Thanks to all of you, and thanks to everyone who's supported the podcast as a patron, as a viewer, as someone who's been in chat and just help make this the conversation I want it to be. Here's to more in 2021. So I've talked myself dry at this point. We're going to call that good. Thanks to everyone. I'm not sure if this is going to be an episode of the podcast or just something I put on YouTube. I'm hedging towards the latter. But I'm really still committed to doing this. And I have been surprised at just how meaningful it can be. And we're going to keep making that meaning happen. Next up, World of Warcraft Shadowlands. The Tower of Torghast. The Twisted Corridors. 18 floors of hitting dudes with an axe. I'm going to take 5. I'll be right back. And we're back. I have to remove my whole desk around when it's time to play video games. So I think I need to get a second keyboard. One for the WASD and one for actually typing. All right. It's going to take me a second to get things rejiggered. Okay. Let's turn this on, this on. There we go. Come this way a little bit. And okay. I'm not sure how important it is to actually play games on stream. I'm kind of feeling that out still. But we'll find out together, huh? Okay. Now that I know this is working, gotta click some buttons and turn some knobs. All right. You can see I've actually played enough WoW where I've gotten to the point where I need a bank alt, who I've put in the most gender appropriate armor I could find. He says facetiously, and not at all sexist. Wait. All right. So what is Torghast? This is not Torghast. This is Bastion. This is my Covenant home base. Remember I said how Covenants are so cool? Look at all this. Covenants are fucking sweet. And I have a friend joining me. Always more fun to play WoW socially. So when I talk about not being a streamer, is this experience? This is going to be fun. But it's going to be a lot of, output for me. Not the kind of thing I'm going to let myself try to do multiple days a week. Just do it once a week and see how it goes. Let's get ourselves ready while we're waiting for our comrade in arms to be ready. So, if you don't know, Torghast is a procedural dungeon in World of Warcraft. It has just one thing. Well, two things, I guess. Some story. Well, from a takeaway perspective, the main thing it has is soul ash. What is soul ash? A large amount of soul ash is required to construct and upgrade legendaries, such as this. You can see this waste armor I have, infallible stratagem. It has a unique property. A heroic leap gains 2 additional charges. Heroic leap is this ability. This would be a jumpy boy. Normally, I can heroic leap once. Hey, Steve. I'm just talking a little bit about Torghast. Set it up for the stream.
Oh, this is streaming channel. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out how I want to use stuff. But I'm going to try to keep, when I'm doing the big stream, into the studio here. Also, if I'm ever just, like, doing the big stream and hanging out here, and you want to, like, come drop in, I have a waiting room that I can drag people in from. I'm not sure how much I'm going to use that, but it's there, so. By the way, what do you want me to call you on stream? Do you care?
Whatever. Easier.
I'm just going to call you Steve, then.
It's fine. It's a common enough name.
Indeed. So why do we need Soul Ash, Steve? Tell me in your words.
Need Soul Ash so we can have legendaries, so we can do cool stuff.
Hell yeah, brother. So let's look at some legendaries that I have. Heroic Leap lets me go from leaping once to leaping thrice, which I think just completely explains itself. Look at this. Amazing. And then I also have a couple that don't explain themselves as easily. I have the shoulder plates of seismic reverberation, which if I'm surrounded by enough enemies, lets my whirlwind ability, where I spin around and hit everything with my axe, hit everything that I hit an additional one time. So basically, if I'm using that skill, it makes it scale up significantly, which is great if you're already pumping a lot of power into it. Lastly, I have Unhinged. The Gauntlets of the Unhinged. While Bladestorm is active, you automatically cast a total of 2 Mortal Strikes at random nearby enemies. Mortal Strike is my big burst skill that I can use while one enemy is not at low health. And it also applies an effect to people that I hit with it that makes it harder for them to heal themselves. So it's good in PvP. It's used in doing damage in dungeons and stuff. And this lets me do 2 Mortal Strikes for free whenever I spin around, like this. And essentially, if I have more Soul Ash, I can make more of these, or I can upgrade these to have more stats on them, both of which are desirable. But Steve, tonight's different, isn't it? The Twisting Corridors. I don't actually know if there's a Soul Ash reward in there for us, is there?
Nope.
What awaits us in the Twisting Corridors?
Well, did you do the lore part yet?
Do I have to do that first?
Like,
I'll
so you do 18 floors, and by the 18th floor, you found 3 clues about Anduin.
I'm on Sign of the Lion, clue found. That's where I am.
So as we go through the floors, we find more clues, and we finish it by finishing the 18th floor.
Right. And don't we get a reward from that?
No, actually, you don't get anything.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you get them out?
That's layer 8.
Layer 8 of 18 floors?
Yep. Yes.
And this
so you have to do 18 floors 8 times.
Oh, God.
Yes, sir.
Well, thankfully,
There are some rewards in between, but it's like battle pets and toys and stuff I don't care so much about.
sure. And do you get soul ash from it too?
Nope.
Wow. So this might be the last time I do the twisting corridors.
Well, we'll see how it goes. You might like it.
Yeah. Well, I'm debating which legendary what legendary to bring in.
You have one that's good for survivability.
Well, one of the anima powers I can get in Torghast makes my whirlwind heal me for the damage it does, and I have the seismic reverberation legendary, which makes my whirlwind do 80% more damage. So it self heals 80% more.
Is that your best AOE thing too?
Yeah. I think it is on average stronger than unhinged for like constant AoE. So I'll probably bring that. Sounds like.
Yeah, probably where we may run into trouble is really big packs.
Really, I find that I'm a little more worried about bosses than big packs. What do you think?
So they give you enough anima powers that, well, I've only done this once,
Uh,
but the bosses were actually really easy for me.
really?
It was like on the 16th, 17th floor and big packs of mobs that would just pop my pet.
Hmm. Okay.
But, I mean, it's going to be completely different with someone in melee, so I'm not sure how it's going to go.
Right. Yeah. When it comes to bosses, um, I think the main thing that I'm going to be watching out for is, uh, trying to get the two powers that increase the duration and reduce the cooldown of Die by the Sword, which is my strong defensive cooldown, and also Voracious Calling Blade, which is the one that lets me execute whenever I want, rather than just under 20% or 35% if you have
It just
master.
turns you into Venthyr then.
Well, yeah, like a super event there. And but now I'm wondering, for conduits, should I bring something that pumps up execute under the hope that I get Voracious Culling Blade? Or should I bring something that pumps up my whirlwind damage whenever I blade storm?
Well, we're probably going to see, I don't know, 70, 80, 90, 100 anima powers. So you'll probably get what you need. Is that epic or is it rare?
The power,
Yeah, Culling Blade.
it's rare.
Yeah, and also we can reset that first anima power if we're feeling scummy,
Okay.
or if we're just really upset with what we get the first time.
Yeah, I think I might actually do both. Maybe I'll bring... So I'll bring the one that pumps up my whirlwind damage when I finish blade storming. And I'll bring the one that increases my crit chance whenever I execute. So if we're fighting bosses and I execute 15 times, I'll get like 30% crit rating out of it. Okay. Dude, Soul Conduit energy regenerates so slowly. What is the deal with that? I so rarely change
Mouse
around my
over
conduits.
It, see the tooltip?
What's that?
If you mouse over it, you see the tooltip says 1 energy recharged
In 12 hours,
12
yeah.
hours.
Yeah, I saw.
So it's one per day.
I don't get it how mine's so low, though. I almost never swap out conduits. It must be from, like, whenever I get, like, an upgrade or something. It counts as a conduit swap. I don't know, man.
I don't think so. I mean,
Doesn't
I
sound
hardly
right.
ever swap conduits around, so I don't pay that much attention to it. Mine's full right now.
Okay. All right, so we're going Bone Grinder. And for talents, I will do not Sudden Death, because that's made irrelevant with Voracious Culling Blade. I will do I'm kind of inclined to get Stormbolt to help on bosses rather than an extra charge. There's the one epic ability that increases my damage by double whenever I charge. That makes that extra charge useful. The Stormbolt is just good to have for controlling big enemies, I find. There's a
Yeah, I'm not
layer.
sure how stun DR is going to work, because I have a stun.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to play it carefully, I think. I will take Massacre. Actually, I could take Fervor of Battle. Because if I get Voracious Culling Blade, man, I'm just betting the farm on that skill then. Why not? You only live once. We'll take Defensive Stance over Bounding Stride. Yeah, it's more useful for this. Cleave. Okay.
So the first few floors are going to be super crazy easy, so don't
Right.
be upset at that.
I know. I thought it'd be cool to go over this on stream a little bit.
Yep.
So
But it definitely ramps up.
yeah, 18 floors. You would think so. All right. I am heading over. I'm just going to make sure I have some food. I'm actually debating flasking up for this. How absurd would that be?
Flasks are like 1,000 gold. I mean, not too absurd.
Yeah.
1,500.
Maybe I will. I can go that much faster.
What would be absurd is if you brought a stack of potions.
I do have some spiritual healing potions, but I don't have them macroed in, so they don't get
Not
used.
those potions, DPS potions.
Oh,
Those
no.
are like 800 each. It's so dumb.
That's hilarious. No, I will not be doing that.
It's like, here, take this flask. It lasts for an hour. Here, this potion costs the same. But it lasts for 10 seconds. Oh, sorry, 25 seconds? I don't know what they're doing these days.
I'm going to use trinkets that have some, like, passive, like, offensive and defensive properties. So I don't have to manage them so hard. Just so much stuff going on already in Torghast.
Just take all your passives.
Yeah. Yeah, these aren't, like, my strongest, like, eye-level trinkets, but I think they have cool effects. So, like, the Beating Abomination Core, taking damage has a chance to heal you, and any overhealing it is converted into an Absorb Shield. The other one is incoming attacks have a chance to trigger a retaliatory strike, inflicting nature damage, split between all enemies, and healing you. Damage and healing are increased per enemy struck. So yeah. Assuming I'm going to get hit. Those are potentially good. I guess I can make sure I have some proper buff food. Real quick.
I don't have a target.
And then I should be right down. I think I'm just going to use stamina food. Banana beef pudding.
Doesn't sound good.
Rich grazer milk, luster wheat flour.
All goods and services for sale. Your patronage is always appreciated.
Okay. We got about a stack. Off we go. Oh, we're not partied up. Let's fix that. 8 by 18, dude. I still can't get over that.
Well, you're not supposed to do it in a day.
I thought that, like, because I'd already done layer 8s, that I would be able to start with it.
Oh no.
Rip
Gotta
my
start over.
expectations. There he is.
Here I am.
Ready?
Yeah, let's
Of course
go.
you are. You've been waiting for me. Star Caller. I haven't seen you use that title before.
Yeah, I don't remember what it's from, but alliteration.
Yes, indeed. Also seems appropriate for your class ability for your faction. These are not amazing powers, but they're not deal breaking.
I mean, mine are bad, but it doesn't really matter.
Should we? You want to re-roll or should we just go?
Let's try once.
All right. I'm gonna eat my stam food. I am actually gonna flask up and weapon oil up. I'm taking this super seriously for the stream.
Okay, dude.
Okay, dude.
Here, I'll use Shadow Core Oil.
Yeah, I can give you one if you want.
I just...
You want a
I got
flask? I'll give you one.
eh. Maybe
Yeah, you do.
after floor 12.
Well, I'll give it
At
to you,
floor 12.
and you can use it when you... Where'd you go?
I exited.
Why?
How are we gonna re-roll those things?
Oh,
if
we are
don't
gonna
use it?
re-roll. Okay, fine.
Yeah. I had poopy poop options.
All right, no poop. No poop allowed. Fine. Hang on, let me give you your flask. Oops, wrong button.
And dwarves got hops. They could jump their whole height.
It's pretty remarkable. Powerful legs. All right. Flask. Flask. This is repaying the karma for the 500,000 BOE that I got.
Yeah, okay.
Ready?
Yep. Oh. Well, it says it's epic, but it never worked for me before.
Mine's okay. I'm not amazed. Not great. You want to re-roll again?
Yeah, nah, we're fine.
Okay.
I need to get closer. I'm out of range.
Oh, maybe you want to fix that
Huh?
in guild chat?
Oh, fuck. What the hell?
That'll get spammy.
It's my execute macro. What are you doing there, execute macro? Why are you putting that? Okay, I'll just... Wait, I don't really need this. I thought this was going to work.
It probably just needs a little tuning.
Why would it... I don't get why this doesn't work. That's fine. I don't... Okay without it.
It's too far away.
Ah, that's better.
I'm still... Just meh.
We're gonna get a lot, so
Yeah.
gonna be winners and losers.
I'm out of range. I don't have a target. I need to get closer.
Look at these powers, man. Ugh.
I
Not
don't
good,
think it's
but
likely to be this common though. Which is a
It's
lot.
too far away.
probably you're right.
I'm out of range.
Does your Spear of Bastion keep you in there too?
No.
Ah.
No, I can move how I please.
It's too far away. I don't have a target. I need to get closer.
Huh, can't break that stun.
It's
Weird.
too far away. I need to get closer. I'm out of range.
Wow, short floor.
It's too far away.
Did we miss anything?
Yeah. No.
Okay.
I did notice that the floors seem a little shorter in this.
I guess that's merciful.
Target something first. I need to get closer. I don't have a target.
I think the earlier ones are shorter than the later ones too.
Give me a sec to eat.
Welcome, friend.
Forgot to eat.
I don't have any basic bitch food.
I can make some.
Should have gotten bought some off my steward.
Where's my cooking fire?
I usually carry around some Stygian stew, but apparently I used it all. That's okay. I'll be fully regened here in a sec.
I'm just looking for what to make. Candied amberjack cakes. Oh wait, those are expensive. Never mind. Some banana beef pudding.
It says they're worth 2 gold. I have banana beef pudding to eat, but I don't like to use buff food just to get health back.
Well,
According to my auctionator,
I
it's
can't
worth
make
more
anything
than the
cheaper than that.
candied amberjack cakes.
well, yeah, because you have to make candied amberjack cakes to level, but the mats for it, it's like 200
Oh,
gold.
okay, fair enough. All right, let's just
Or
kill this guy.
150.
I'm fine.
I'm out of range.
Ugh, these powers suck.
I want to take 2 of these pretty bad. I'm not sure which one's going to come up again later.
Challenging shout.
Okay.
It's not bad, actually. Also, I haven't gotten any defensive powers, which is leaving me feeling kind of scared about boss time.
We'll be fine.
Says the hunter.
Yeah, you can die and I'll just kill it with my pet.
Right.
My pet should be tanking anyway.
It's too far away.
Left or right? I say left.
Okay.
I need to get closer.
I hate these things.
Yeah, same. Oh, I wonder if this stacks. Guess we'll find out.
I'm out of range. I don't have a target.
Whoa.
I hate those.
I need to get closer. It's too far away. I need a target.
I think this way first, probably. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
Fuck.
Ha! That's what's nice about having you ahead of me.
Why don't you send your pet to eat those things, huh?
Nah.
It's too far away.
Very short floors. Wow.
Target.
So we gotta retrace back in the direction real fast.
Run back into the swinging axe a couple more times.
Yeah, yeah. You get me. Ah! Just got a little bit of a close shave, that's all.
I need a target.
Fucking night bay.
I don't even have my run faster for no reason talent on.
Let me just sit here and regen for a minute.
Small rat.
Hang on, my steward's up. I'll buy some food off of him.
Yes.
Oh, there's just vases over here.
Okay. He will sell me ethereal pomegranates, which I will gladly eat.
Back to work.
Okay. Bye, Bidibos. See you later.
How do you do?
I'm out of range. I need a target.
I wish intervene put you a little closer to your target instead of just at the edge of melee range.
Yeah, it feels a little weird. I wonder why they do it that way.
I need to get closer.
Oh,
Oh,
my
there's
god.
more.
It's 3.
I'm out of range.
Oh, I did not mean to throw my spear there.
It's too far away.
Yeah, more powers, but they're all fucking garbage.
I need to get
I'm getting garbage filler powers.
We'll get better ones later. It's only floor 2.
Alright.
I'm out of range.
None of my cooldowns are up for this. Okay. What is for the kill? Ugh. Alright,
That's
red?
a nice one to have.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a buying floor.
Okay.
Check out Terra Grew over there.
Yep. Little viewing gallery.
What can I do for you?
We're fighting a golem.
God damn. Give me a good power.
May I tempt you with my wares?
Okay. I got one good thing I can buy here. Let's see. I have 534 Phantasma. What about you?
How? What?
Oh,
Did you get?
I
pick up
chose a
more
couple of extra
Phantasma power?
Phantasma because the one options I got
Oh.
were shit.
Yeah, I have 300, so I could get a Ravenous and the Requisition.
Requisition?
Yeah, it's 5 anima.
What's that?
I think it's from getting cordial with Venari.
Oh, yeah, sure. I already went through that. Yeah.
Ew,
All right.
bad choices.
So if I get both plundered, that leaves me with enough to get Unbound Fortitude. Yeah. Okay, that's what I'll do. Plundered 1, plundered 2, and Unbound Fortitude. So that makes my die by the sword last longer.
Good show.
Oh, man. Not fantastic. All right. More powers incoming.
Well. Ooh. Well. One's defensive and one's not. I want them both. Alright, fine. Oh, you're picking up some health. Did you get a Morat thing?
No, I did not.
Does your Spectral Flask of Power say it gave you 70 agility?
70 strength.
That's weird. On my tooltip it says you have 70 agility from it.
Oh, that's funny. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right.
Do you know what I'm supposed to turn into an anima cell?
Any mob.
Yeah, but they're like different. You can min-max it, but I don't know.
Oh, really? No, I did not know that, actually.
Alright, you got coolies, we'll just wipe these guys out.
Yeah.
What do you think? You want to turn that guy into it?
I
Doing it.
maybe pick an elite? Whatever.
Can you do elites?
I don't know.
I think so. Oh, that was a bad one. My bad.
I'm out of the brave, the mighty, the treacherous. All are bound here. Free them. I need a target. It's too far away. I need a target. I don't have a target.
You look oddly hale today.
Doesn't look red to me.
Doesn't look what?
Maury
Oh.
has the red. Doesn't
Yeah,
look red to me.
yeah. Maybe red's more of like an emotional hue than a,
I'm out of range.
you know.
It's too far away.
Come on, get closer.
I need a target.
You are hunted.
Oops.
Be wary.
Let's not die.
Closer.
He got hit by a stun swirly.
Yeah, I heroic leapt through it. I thought I was gonna get away with it, but I did
Oh,
not.
that's weird. I thought Heroic Leap didn't check your mid-air status, just ground to ground.
We got a rare elite on the left. 200k health.
It's too far away. I don't have a target.
He doesn't even throw the trap on me.
Just cast it into the.
Well, he threw it right next to me, but
All right, let's do this guy.
Out of range. I need to get closer. It's too far away. I don't have a target.
ooh. Clear all permanent debuffs left
Yeah.
by the Eternal Subjugator. What is... I don't see any debuffs.
I have like a 10% damage done debuff. All I can do when you attack a new creature, they suffer shadow damage or are silenced. That's kind of enticing.
Yeah, I don't know if that's enough damage to matter on a boss.
10%.
Oh wait, 10%?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna clear it. I need like 1 minute to respond to my lovely wife. She's messaging me.
Okay.
Okay. Was it just me, or is this flask ticking down unnaturally fast?
Should be an hour, right?
I thought flasks last for 2 hours. Is that a classic thing?
No, only if you're an alchemist.
Oh. Whoa, where are they going? Okay. So, like, when we split the range and the melee like this, my damage goes to pot. Just something to think about.
Mm. Okay.
I'm out of range. I need
My whirlwind actually wrecks shit right now.
Far away. I'm out of range. I need to get closer. I don't have a target. It's too far
It's
away.
a strange feeling room. Get the dudes patrolling behind us first. No, these guys are gonna patrol back. Wards.
I'm out of range. I need to get closer. I need a target. It's too far away. I don't have a target.
This floor seems a bit longer.
I'm out of range.
Yeah.
It's too far away. I need a target. I don't have a target. I need to get closer. I don't have a target. I need a target.
Buttons.
Where? Oh, you found him. Buttons.
It was not easy to construct buttons with the
Damaging
parts
an
I
enemy
had
who's below
available.
10% will
We shall
disembowel
be
them,
on our
instantly
way.
killing them. Ew. Yep.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I don't know. Because when it procs, it does damage to me. So it's great for boss, but if we're killing like 100 dudes and then I take 10% damage per dude and I just kill myself by killing stuff, I don't like that.
Yeah, dying sounds bad.
Like, when they make powers with drawbacks, I'm just like, no, I'm not taking it.
Yeah, like
I don't care how good the positive is, I'm not taking any drawbacks. Except for the one that says you can't jump, that's okay.
yeah, that's okay. The one that says you can't move backwards though, as a melee, is a fucking no.
Yeah, no, you can't have it.
Not being able to execute till 20% feels bad, man.
Yeah, until you get Culling Blade, you're kind of sad face, huh?
Yeah. Okay. My die by the sword now lasts for 50 seconds.
5-0?
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty good.
And the more soul remnants I get, the longer it'll last. Pretty cool the way that works. Looks fun. You want it?
You want to?
I'll do it.
Do it.
Easy. Easy.
Well done.
I'm a fucking genius.
Wow.
My whirlwind's getting strong, man.
It's too far away.
Dangerous. Look at that. Just pulled them all in. Now I just need to get Hurricane Heart so it heals me when I use it.
I need a target.
Yeah, I got triple blood gorged leech, so
Oh, yeah.
healing won't be a problem.
Love to have that. I passed up a stack of that for something else. I can't remember what. Oh, it was at the vendor. What the fuck is going on here?
I don't know, but it looks dangerous.
Let's skip the first half. What? Okay, I'm through.
You are hunted.
All right, just to
What?
freak us out, I guess.
Oh boy, this looks fun.
I need to get closer.
Alright, let's do this big group on the right. Let's get it out of the way.
It's too far away.
Owned.
It is nice having a big
This is a rare.
AoE cooldown like that.
Yeah. This guy fucked me up once. I did not appreciate it.
Yeah, but you're invincible now.
Oh, I am for another 12 seconds. Or she's calling Blade. Damn.
Nice.
No, it's not. I just tried to will
Oh.
it into existence.
Oh, jeez. Debated.
Zone of Empowerment. That's okay. No, I found zone of Empowerment to be a little glitchy and weird.
Oh, is it?
It creates these little balls on the ground you gotta pick up.
Right.
They do make you
What's
strong.
glitchy about it, though?
Okay, fine. I'm getting it.
No, I thought you said someone told you it was glitchy.
No, I just had. It didn't seem that strong, but then I thought about it for a second. Probably. Oh, look at all these enemies. Okay, I'm gonna taunt. Come to me, my pretties. No, I'm just gonna whirlwind forever. Actually, I'm not gonna taunt at all. Or blade storm.
I'm out of range.
Yeah. What's taunting good for?
Well, it lasts for 30 seconds. And if I get the resonating throat bands, then I'll do 30% more damage to everything that's affected by a shout.
Out of range.
All these powers and all them shit.
I think that one is...
On Uber power.
Oh, it's not mean.
Um,
I thought it was one of the ones... Or is it a bad guy pretending to be?
still a good power though.
I need to get closer.
Look, raise one of those zones of empowerment. Enjoy 10 seconds of being strong.
Got it.
It's too far away.
This floor is as big as, like, the first 3 floors.
It is. Die by the sword is now up to a minute in duration.
Oh, hey.
Yeah,
Remember all those traps we skipped?
I remember. Oops, I got pronged still.
Yeah, Rogue Leap's a little weird.
I love how in the open world, like how much you can just like jump up shit now.
Yeah,
It's one of my favorite. Actually, I think it is my favorite new ability. I'm just gonna pull this shit in.
Imagine ability that's been around since what, Cataclysm maybe?
Get closer. It's too far away.
All right. Has it been around since Cataclysm?
I'm not sure. That sounds right, but
Oh, Resonant Throat Bands. Cool, cool, cool.
I don't want any of these. Nah.
Now I can keep. Oh, Challenging Shout has a 4-minute cooldown though. That sucks. All right, ready?
You can use Challenging Shout?
Yeah, all warriors can. All spec.
I thought that was prod only.
I think it might have been
Change
more.
that.
I think it might have been one of the Shadowlands changes. This is a boss floor, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I've got 456 this time.
For you, I offer only the finest.
Let's see. Do I want any of this other stuff? That'll be good. Okay, so I have 566.
Okay.
So I could buy Ravenous. I could. Wait, can I buy both?
Yeah.
Both Plundered and Ravenous? Yeah, 300.
You gonna buy them
Yeah.
all for us, Daddy? All right.
Sure.
Yeah, there's some stuff here that I want. I want more whirlwind damage. I want more blade storm duration. Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
Until our next
Pow.
transaction.
My when am I gonna get fucking Voracious Culling Blade? I need it.
Everything is negotiable.
Floor 10 is when you're gonna get it.
Okay. Thanks for letting me know. Should I use a rage mote? I got 300 Phantasma from that. I can afford it. Rage mote makes my abilities cost no rage for a minute and a half. So it means delete this boss.
I mean, you might want to save it for a boss that's not gonna be a pushover, but
Yeah, I agree.
Everything
Okay.
has value.
Well, I mean, I can't save it. Like, once you buy it, it's active.
oh, I see.
So it's like a one-time
Might
use.
might just save the Phantasma.
Yeah. But that reminds me, actually, I'm going to use my Infuser. Give myself a random buff. 200 versatility. I will take it.
Seems good.
Yeah.
200. Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's
I
from
got
the...
like 100 mastery last time I used it. So
Oh, yeah,
I
you got it
stopped
too.
using it so much.
Cool.
Well, I got one, but I didn't use it just now.
All right. Let's see how this goes.
Here you go.
This is such a long play storm.
I need to get closer.
Oh, hey. Look to me.
Okay. Voracious culling blade, give it to me. Ooh, they're all epic. Ah, yes, here it is. Die by the sword cooldown reduction. Now, it has a 18-second cooldown and lasts for 1 minute.
There you go. Can you stack it?
I don't know. Is there a point in double parrying?
Well, it reduces all damage you take too.
Oh shit, I don't know. Let's try it.
I'm sure it doesn't stack. Just
That would be
reset.
cool. Like grow an extra limb.
Save the Venthia from this fate.
It's too far away. I need to get closer.
Yeah, I just need to get the whirlwind healing power and voracious culling blade, and I'm like done.
I need a target. I don't have a target.
You're so fast.
It's too far away.
Yep.
I need to get closer.
One of my conduits increases my speed after I kill something.
Okay. I wonder if I can get it to the point where my blade storm lasts as long as the cooldown.
Would you only blade storm then?
I'm not sure if it's possible.
I am looking for my medallion.
I have
It is somewhere close by.
I have 2 stacks
I
of it,
can sense
and it right now it lasts for 12 seconds out of a 90-second cooldown. So I would need 12 more stacks.
Okay, that's not gonna happen.
I think I got this like zone of power just for you. I don't think I picked up a
Yeah.
single one. You're welcome.
It's too far away.
Thanks.
Oh, now I'm taking.
Oh, I should turn something into an anima power. Which one though? I guessed bad last time.
Oh yeah. It'll take a second
Yeah,
to
we got-
min max it. I mean, we're not in a rush.
I need a target.
I don't want to look it up. I want you to guess.
Oh, I see. All right, let's do that. Then let's do that. Get whirlwinded.
I don't have a target.
You want me to pick a target? Okay,
Yeah.
that one. But first, let's clear this.
Okay. He's gonna give us a curse, dude.
That's why you wanna curse him first, man. It's karma.
Okay. Hey, there's one for you.
Take that, rat.
Is there a range on this thing?
too far away. I don't have a target.
There is a range and it's too far.
I'm out of range.
Freeing a soul remnant gives me 100% crit for 10 seconds.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I'm not sure how useful it is, but
Not good for bosses, but
let's pull this pack.
I need to get closer. I don't have a target. It's too far away. I need a target.
Power ITT. Lightning damage.
lightning damage?
That is.
When there's lightning!
Thank you for your assistance. I will leave you to whatever it is you are doing in this.
You know it
cursed
always
place.
brings me down.
I need to get closer.
Yeah, these floors are getting bigger.
The end's right there.
Oh, they go the wrong way.
It's too far away.
Okay,
I can't attack
lol.
I'm out of range.
Pretty sure Whirlwind is stronger for me than Mortal Strike at this point. Oh boy. That's damage. Yes,
Yeah.
I heal for 80% of the damage dealt by Whirlwind.
Nice-oo.
That's excellent. That is excellent. Currently, it does 3,700 to up to 5 enemies, and also slams my primary opponent. Now I need to get some Fan of Longswords going, so when I cast Mortal Strike, it casts Whirlwind.
That's crazy. You get cool stuff.
Yeah, there's some fun toys. I still am waiting for Voracious Culling Blade to show the fuck up, though.
Maybe we assumed it a little too hard.
Maybe. Maybe I'm too desperate.
Felt taken for
Left
granted.
or right? Left.
I like
Fine.
left.
Okay, go left then. By the way, that passive-aggressive comment I made about you getting my powers, I don't mind. Totally take them.
Oh, yeah, I didn't take it that way.
Good. Absorption shield seems fucking weak. 65 per Phantasma?
Oh, yeah, never, ever, never. They should get rid of that.
Seems bad.
So bad. I don't know what Wild Mark is. I have Wild Spirits and I have Hunter's Mark, but I don't have a Wild Mark.
That's weird. Usually only gives you stuff that's applicable to what you're playing, right?
Well, I don't know if, like, the tooltip's screwed up or what.
Huh.
I'm not gonna take it.
A lost Fae, bound in torment. Free them, lest they be consumed by darkness.
Actually, my Whirlwind wrecks so hard that I'm just Blade Storming in order to get the damage buff to my Whirlwind that happens when Blade Storm ends. After I get 100 Rage.
It's too far away. I don't have a target.
Yes, more rage. I need more rage.
I need a target. I'm out
Oh,
of
wait.
range.
No, sorry.
It's too far away.
I hope my passive. I hope my pet hasn't been on passive this whole time. Can't be. We've been killing stuff, right?
100% crit. It's Marat. It's got it in for it. Oh, I missed. Oh, come on. Thank you for saving
Welcome.
me. I think we took the wrong direction.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I need to get closer.
I don't think we had any other options.
Okay. I'll be right. My sense of direction is not my finest.
I don't have a target.
The hunt must go
Did
on.
we? Seems like there's. Oh shit. That's why it was on passive.
It all makes sense now. Oh my god, my whirlwind hit so hard. Holy crap.
Got another power back here.
Okay. I'm gonna pee real fast after I grab this.
Okay.
Increase health by 100% and prevents knockbacks. Standing still temporarily reduces your movement speed due to growing roots. What? Or your spells and attacks have a chance to grant you 35% haste for 15 seconds.
That sounds pretty good.
They're both good. 100% health though, man. I don't know.
You got almost 50k. Probably find another one that gives you 15% or 45%
Yeah,
health.
I'll go for the haste rather than the weird sauce. I'll go to the next floor, so if you want to do some pulls while I'm peeing.
Yeah,
you
because then if you just stop moving while you go pee, and then you're stuck.
can. Rooted
Can't
in
move.
place in Torghast forever. Sad face. Be back in a couple minutes.
Oh, this is a broker floor.
back.
It's a broker floor.
Oh, I... Sorry. How boring for you.
Yeah.
I feel like these floors should have, like, lore drops in them, you know?
What's happening?
Ah, die by the sword now lasts for 1.5 minutes.
You're still taking those?
No, I don't have, like, it scales up with the Soul Remnant's Blessing.
Oh.
I don't have a choice.
All goods and services for sale.
So I already bought what I could, so whatever's left is you.
Yeah, I can get the Ravenous. It's no problem. What else? Guess I'll grab that. Longer avatar is good as shit. Are we doing a boss next? No.
No.
Floor 10's Righteous Calling Blade floor. I'm pumped.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
You ready for some Ernimer?
Oh, yeah, let's do it.
Nick. Ooh.
Get a good one?
That's the shit. Easy 2500 DPS.
Storm Cycle Peridot?
Mm-hmm.
Signature damage has a chance to inflict your target with Storm Cycle. Dealing 2k damage every 1 second indefinitely? What?
Yep. That's a good one.
Illegal.
It's good for bosses.
I'm pulling you over. You're going too fast. All right, I'm good.
Too fast.
All right. So you didn't use your flask, right? Or did you?
No.
Okay. Mine's about to run out. I'm gonna refood and flask.
Oh. I'm gonna kill these two dudes.
I'm probably never gonna flask up for this again, because I'm doing it on stream and don't want to fail.
Well, flask probably won't be the difference.
Probably
between
not.
Success and failure, but
I wonder if it multiplies out all the other buffs we have. I hope it does. Otherwise, it really
it
isn't
should.
worth it.
Will is currently muted if you didn't know that.
That's his own choice.
Okay. You want to go through spears and shit, or you want to go the other way?
The other way.
Sounds good. Oh, this is spears and shit.
It's like we get spears no matter which way we go.
How goes it?
Floor 10.
Hype? How hard is it?
It's not hard yet.
Not hard yet.
No.
Oh my god, that heroic leaf is so broken. You just avoided all of that.
Hell yeah, brother.
That was pretty pro. I will say I'm the most excited for tomorrow's reset day out of any of the previous resets.
Because you're gonna get big paladin dong loot.
Pig, paladin, ding dong loot.
Excellent.
You are too. You got 3 raid clears plus a high mythic plus clear.
Yeah, I'm getting
Still
5
only
rolls.
get to pick one. But
Yeah, I've 1 213 rolls, so that's the high hope.
That's the big one. But then you have 3 200 rolls, which
Hey.
are still legit.
You or me, not both. Are you doing it?
I'm not doing nothing.
Oh, what the fuck? Okay. never
Some of
mind.
those changed 3 of them. Some of them
I know.
changed 2.
I know how it works. So this changes all 4. Okay.
Oh, I didn't know there were any that did that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Changes
it's 4 3 2 1.
3.
Is what it does.
It's not always in that order. It's just
No,
one.
no, it's like they're varied. Like one will change 4, but
So it's
one
4.
will always change
It's
4.
4 3 1 2. It looks like. Yeah. Okay, so you do
Number 4 first.
the 4. Okay. So the 2 and the 1 govern which ones? These 2 on the right. And it gets 3 on the right. Okay. So, okay. I need to grab the far left with this one. Okay, fine. And then the medium left. And then done. My die by the sword lasts for a minute and a half on a 20-second cooldown now, Will.
Legit. You have 46 anima powers? So
Yeah.
are the mobs scaling pretty hard or not really?
It's too far away.
Not as fast as we are. It's my observation. I'm a little worried about my health not scaling up fast enough.
You need that Obleron endurance.
Yeah, I've already taken a few increases, but I passed up I passed one up for oh fuck. Ugh, still got skewered. I passed up 100% health increase that would have made it so that if I stand still too long, I get rooted in place.
I've done that one. It's not as bad as you think.
Okay. I just figured I have 8 more floors of this. I made a conservative pick.
Not a bad choice.
Oh, hello, secret boss. I still haven't gotten Vracia's Culling Blade, and that was the whole thing that I built my talents around.
Uh-oh.
Oh shit, this
Ah.
is floor 10.
Triple stack of Obleron. That's good.
Nice.
63 HP. It's better. Okay.
I'm gonna give Holy a try tonight. I'm gonna queue up for a random heroic and see how I do. As a
Exciting.
tester.
Good luck.
Ready?
Steve, maybe you know this answer. Can you get PvP weapons from the vault?
I think so.
I guess I should probably wait before I buy an honor weapon then for Holy.
Well, I'm
Think you're
streaming
gonna
while
get
I'm
that
trying to
one?
keep it focused on Torghast. I don't mind if you hang out, but if you don't
fair
mind. A little different than the normal just straight chill and talk. Okay.
I'm out of range.
And now that I've said that, I've realized that I'm going to be bored by not having something else to talk
Right?
about while I'm grinding through this. So
Like, there's not a whole lot to talk
so
about here.
fuck what I just said.
I get it. Maybe on the upper levels, it'll be super enthralling.
Yeah,
from a
maybe.
difficulty standpoint.
I'm enjoying these powers though. My Whirlwind's doing a lot of work, and I also was smart because I brought my Whirlwind Legendary. All right.
I am intrigued to see the scaling at the high levels for Warrior. Like, are anima powers gonna really make a big difference? Like, if you had all of the anima powers,
Well,
will
as
it be
long as he
enough?
fights melee dudes, he's
Yeah.
invincible.
Oh, that's true.
That is true. Right now, that is definitely the case.
I'm out of range.
Yeah, this is the end, so other way.
Subjugator Klompzas.
What a name. Shit, that guy got teased in high school.
Oh, remember? We went over this stuff that made us scared, and it was all off, and on the way back, it
I
was all
do
on.
remember.
I need to get closer. I don't have a target.
Just a cool 40k DPS on the pull.
Feels good.
Oh, rage mode. Time to go kill things.
Okay.
I got no time for this other shit.
It's too far away.
Oh, okay. Get out of the way of that.
I'm out of range.
I asked for at max HP and I got 245% like in short order
Yeah, what do you need 100% for? Just get 90.
with no drawbacks.
Good enough.
I need to get closer. I need a target. It's too far away.
So we're totally just doing some twos next week, right? Well,
Absolutely. Or threes.
dude,
Arms, marks, holy. I think
it's gonna be fun.
could be good. I have a very high skill bar to leap over, though. I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be tough.
A bit of a learning experience. That's okay.
I think
Absolutely.
healing's pretty hard in PvP.
I think healing is more difficult than most things in this game. Definitely more difficult than tanking, I can say that. At least right now. Tanking's
Hang on, I'm gonna put up a food buff.
Okay.
trying to figure out my raid frames right now. Not quite sure what to do.
Okay.
Oops. The wrong button.
I'm out of range. I don't have a target.
There's Voracious Culling Blade.
Ah, one floor off.
Yeah, close. That's gonna be mainly for boss dumpstering at this point. Better options for trash with the rolling and shit. My avatar lasts very long now. Wow, 56 seconds for avatar.
Pretty good.
Yeah,
Is it a 2-minute cooldown?
minute and a half.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
May I tempt you with my wares?
So, I got like 0 Phantasma.
I have 401.
I have 300, so I could buy both the plundereds, I guess.
Okay. I'll grab the Ravenous. Oh, I didn't use my Ravenous in the last floor. Sorry about that. Remind me, next floor. Excuse me. I don't need any of this stuff. I'll take the maximum health, though. It's good karma to grab that when you can.
Remember,
80,000 health might be enough.
I now heal for 2.5 times the damage of Whirlwind. Fan of Longswords. Mortal Strike has a 33% chance to cast Whirlwind. If I can stack that up 3 times, then every time I Mortal Strike, I will Mortal Strike, Whirlwind, and Slam, and heal for 2.5 damage of all the above.
So all your abilities do all your other abilities.
Oh, here it is. Secret Spices. That's good. That's good. I need to kill Maw Rats to stack up my max health even more. Okay. See, what I've heard is people have, like, steamrolled all the twisting corridors, and then the last boss is apparently a brick wall. So I'm trying not to get too confident.
We'll be fine.
Right. I can bring this guy wherever I want, by the way.
Good. Because I can't.
All right. Can you lay off while I finish him off? I want to stack up my execute buff.
Okay.
Okay. Are these little fart bubbles yours?
Those are healing things. I feel like all those shouldn't be mine, but maybe they are.
Smoldering inertia. There it is.
What? You get such cool stuff. I get dumb stuff.
But I don't have any of either of the talents that give me more charges or more availability of charge or heroic leap, so I don't know. It's not as good as it could be.
Use your
Tower Sentinel?
You are hunted. Be wary.
Who should I use it
Can't
on?
use it on rares or elites or whatever's.
Okay.
I don't know, just try it. See what happens.
Okay, I'll try one of the Tower Sentinels.
I'm out of range.
Invalid target.
It's too far away.
Oh, the range is pretty close on this, actually. Alright. Let me execute. Okay. Once I do it 20 times, then you can just do whatever you want. No longer able to jump. Actually, I'm going to grab the 5% chance to heal. Key. I mean, as much as you remark at how cool my abilities are, you are still damaging me on every single pull. You realize
Well,
that, right?
No, I don't have meters open.
Oh. You are.
But they're not cool. They just blow stuff up.
Sure.
I need to get closer. I'm out of range.
Okay, what is that thing that you pull stuff to you?
My whirlwind pulls in enemies within 20 yards.
20 yards.
Yeah. It's pretty fucking funny.
Nice.
Wow.
Mm. Oh, yeah, you can do it.
Oh, me too? Okay.
You're
I've
the
never
puzzle
done one of
master.
these. You seem to get 3 in a row after this.
Dude, we just killed this guy. Subjugator Klonsas.
Klonsas will be back for more. I'm dumb. Okay.
Want me to sticky fingers it? Or I don't know if I
No,
can.
no, I got it. I got it. I got it. Chill. What? Oh, there it is.
I need to get
Ta-da!
I don't have a target.
62k DPS. That's
Seems good.
That's crazy.
Did you say 62k?
That's what Steve did on that pull.
That's
It
outrageous.
was a short fight.
Yeah,
Oh
very
my
short.
gosh. You
I
guys
did-
are gonna roll this.
I did 20k and felt pretty good.
Steve, are your powers just like the best they can
Well,
be?
I used all the cooldowns, and one of my abilities is use the pet stun, and while that dude is stunned, gain 100% crit chance and do 100% more crit damage for 5 seconds.
Jeez.
So yeah, if a dude lasts about 10 seconds,
Look at
That's
this
a
little
lot.
hidey hole over here.
Pretty good.
Do not take a lithium diffuser.
what's that?
It's not good because you have
What is?
It's where you can't step backwards.
Oh yeah, no thanks.
I'm not taking that.
Oh no, that one's good. I thought that was the one where it was if you didn't kill your target, they heal the damage.
That's
that
the
you
one I
did.
thought it was when I first saw it, actually.
That one sucks.
Okay, I did
Good friend.
54k DPS on that.
Yeah.
54k.
Your friend Fane really liked that one, huh?
What do you mean?
The damage, and then if you don't kill it, it heals.
Oh god, he so
Yeah.
trolled me in that run. He drove me crazy. He was like jumping off the side and like we were fighting bosses for like 10 minutes and shit.
Oh.
Oh, we missed a key.
Did we?
Oh, this chest isn't open. Maybe it's later.
Is this guy gonna die or what?
Eventually.
All right, is Righteous Culling Blade up yet? No, I need to do some more executing. You want to... Maybe it's ahead of us. Is that possible?
It could be. We'll look around, and if we don't find it, we'll double back. Oh, it's right there. If you want, I could just let you clear stuff.
No, I don't care. I'm opening the box. Fan of long swords, stack number 2.
Jeez.
One more. One more for glory. How interesting. There's the other parts of the levels we haven't been to yet.
Yeah, it's just... Actually, is it as big as it looks? Probably not.
Do we
You
care?
want to jump down?
I could use the extra Maw rats for more health. Can we actually get up there though?
Well, let's kill this guy first.
Hey Fane, how's it going, man? Doing twisting corridors. Let me execute.
Oh, sorry.
I got a 3. Yeah, the power setup I have is pretty obnoxious for ad clear. Like obnoxiously good.
Oh, whoops. Missed.
All right, which one did I get? Intimidating shout. As long as it's a better run than fucking 8 of the Tell, yeah, it's a lot better than the one we did. We can probably skip these, Steve. I don't know. How do we get over there though? Is just a part of the level that we didn't go to?
Wait. Well, there's no. We went down.
Wait.
There,
Can we jump across here, dude? Oh no!
Oh, he can't step sideways though.
Fuck. Channeling my inner Fane Raven. All right, we got this.
I'm too fast. I can't sidestep.
Have you done twisting yet, Fane?
It's too far away.
Oh my god.
Oh, my pet. Oh, there it is.
Let me execute.
I don't have a target.
Okay.
I need to get closer. I need a target.
Dude didn't have an anima power?
Yeah, what the hell? You should actually go unlock this on your mage, yeah. I heard that mage is actually kind of rough for Torghast.
I'm out of range.
Come to me, my pretty maw rats. Come to me.
What, they can't do damage while on ice block?
Can't do damage on ice block. Fucking rip.
I need to get closer.
Roasted.
It's too far away.
There's a power. Can you heroic leap over there?
I don't think so. I've tried. Yeah, no path. There are chains
I'm gonna-
there,
I'm gonna try and disengage over there.
but how do you activate them? This is gonna be good. Oh! Bro! Wait, let me kill the Marats, though. Oh, whatever. I don't care.
Oh, throw. Get him.
I don't have
Got him.
Oh, that was so worth.
I'll take that 2% health.
Two more rats.
All right. GG. That was fun. Mage is broken as fuck, then they nerfed it. That's appropriate. I think all mages
Sad
should be
day.
nerfed. Except for the mages that are on my team. They should be buffed.
I just died. Oh no.
In the heroic?
I didn't heal myself. Oh, okay.
Doesn't bode well for threes.
I still need to execute. Let me kill this guy slowly. Oh, he's kind of tanky, actually. Where are you going? Where you going?
He's still trying to fight my cold stomp.
How many more executes do I have to do? What the hell? I did take Voracious Culling Blade, did I not? God, how am I going to go through this whole list? I'm just going to have to trust that I got it. I'm not going to read through all that shit.
It's too far away.
How many stacks do you need? 30?
Yeah, I should have to execute 30 times to activate it.
Seems like you would have 30 by now.
I would have thought so. Maybe I, like,
I'm out of
fucked up and didn't click it correct or something.
I need to get closer. It's too far away.
Become able to see which enemies have plundered anima. What does that mean?
You can just see which ones are gonna drop after we kill them.
Oh, I don't care.
It's not really worth anything if you just kill everything. If you like see if you can skip stuff or not, I guess that
if you're
might be worth.
like doing a stealth playthrough. Above their head has a cell so you can see what you can skip. Yeah, makes sense.
I need
Oh,
to get
there goes my jumping. Rip jump. Makes me nervous I might get stuck in a wall or something though.
I'm out of range. I need a target.
All right, it's active now.
Okay.
That means we can fight bosses. Not that we couldn't before. I want this whirlwind pulling enemies onto me ability in PvP.
Yeah, that would be fair.
I need to get closer.
All right.
I'm out of range.
Just gonna get off one of these and execute. You did 151k DPS. Oh, here it is, baby. Fan of Longswords. 3 out of 3. Mortal Strike has a 100% chance to cast Whirlwind.
Oh man. Which will then cast Slam.
Yeah. And pull everything into me.
Which will then cast Execute.
Execute is the one thing it won't do.
Bummer. Need to buff that.
I know. Oh, I forget. No, I had to use the plunders. Never mind. I'm good. Don't forget to get your horde back here first. Oh, Tormented Kings. Yes. Yes, we will do that.
Everything is negotiable.
So I have a lot.
Is this a boss floor? No.
No.
I have 924.
I can buy all of those. I'll buy all of those.
Okay. Fine by me. What anything I want? I guess I'll get a rage mode, but Ashen Phylactery. I guess I can save that up for a boss. Striking a Marat reduces the cooldown. That could be useful. Phantasma, don't care. Obleron.
How much strength do you have?
1749.
Yeesh. I have 2679 agility.
Okay. Next thing I would take here is the rage mode. So do you want to pop the plunders?
Your patronage is always appreciated.
Oh, sure, right on the guy.
Hey, I got Storm Cycle Peridot. But do I have any sources of
Nice.
nature damage?
I don't know.
Wait, the lightning strikes that I proc, are they nature damage?
Seems like they should be.
I'm going to say yes, because there's no such thing as lightning damage. Max health by 45%. 167k
You're
health.
not even gonna hit 1,000,000. What's the point?
I want to, though. I want it all.
Only the finest.
Okay. Ready?
Ready.
Rage modes.
Wait, what do you have that does lightning?
A lightning strike proc from an anima power.
Okay. Another Phantasma floor? No.
Not. Oh no, we have stuff to do.
Jeez. Stupid orb of replenishment. I don't want any, and I think I have 3 stacks. Keep forgetting to use my stuff.
Use your stuff.
Oh, speaking of stuff, I got that blow someone up thing.
Oh, the Ravenous?
Yeah. I'm gonna get that ritualist over there.
Okay. You won't know what. Wow, you just. Oh. Never
You
mind.
hit him so hard he turned into Anima.
I wish I could do that.
I need to target something first. I'm out of range. I need to get closer. It's too far away. I can't attack them.
Oh, rats run away too fast.
Which way to go?
I'm out of range.
Let's pick one, I guess.
I need a target.
Dead end.
Oh, I can't jump.
It's too far away.
Onesie. Twosie. Threesie. Four. Got a power for you.
Thank you.
I need to get closer.
I got the power
Does
where.
agility give dodge?
Oh.
I'm out of range. I don't have a target. I need to get closer. It's too far away.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's go.
Oh, 200K.
Hell yeah, brother.
You might get a 250,000.
And my my File of Serenity heals me for 70% of that. But
Jeez.
70% of 200k.
Hello.
140k?
Pretty good.
So I'll just take Growl off my pet then. You
Uh,
can take it.
yeah, like there's no risk of me being hit at this point, I don't think. Plus, I heal for a ridiculous amount whenever I do anything other than execute.
I'll let my pet taunt anyway until it dies.
I need to get closer. I'm out of range.
Feels like there should be something in here.
Yeah, there's like a room hiding a secret because of these pile of bones.
Like that there's more dropping.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's the-
back here there's anima back here.
Where?
Oh, did it just show up for me, or maybe you got it already?
I already got it.
Okay.
Well, it's the penultimate floor, my friend.
It's too far away.
Get hype.
Yeah.
I need to get closer. It's too far away. I don't have a target.
You just blew those guys up.
Correct. That's got a weird achievement. What was that for?
Use bloating fodder anima power to explode 100 more rats in Torghast.
All right.
I don't know what that is.
That sounds like it speaks for itself, if you ask me. I wasn't even using Die by the Sword. My regen from Whirlwind is just... I wonder what my healing done looks like. Hang on. Let me change my details to... is it everything? No. Overall data. Okay. How do I change it to healing done? Healing done. 2 million healing done. Actually, not that much more than you. Interesting. All right.
I need to get closer. It's too far away. I'm out of range.
He didn't have an anima power?
Apparently not.
What a jerk.
Agreed. Okay. Let's do this way first.
I need a target.
Oh, yeah, that's good. You're right. The warrior powers are fun, but it's just because warrior's a fun class to begin with. I feel like.
It's too far away.
I guess it wouldn't really make sense if my shots did another shot also.
Isn't that what multi-shot is?
So it's already taken.
Different kind of problem. These little like things, man. Swole. Fuck this.
It's too far away. I'm out of range. I need to get closer.
All right, boss time. You feeling
Yeah,
ready?
There's a lot of stuff to buy. I got 2,400 Phantasmer.
1800 for me.
Oh, Phantasmic Infuser, you can't stack it. Bummer.
Yeah. Actually, what's mine at? Oh, mine's a crit. I'll just leave it a crit. Crit's good. Yeah, that'd be amazing if you could stack it up. Have 2 buffs at once.
Yeah. It's an ooze.
Writhing soul mass.
All goods
Oh,
and
I have
services
nothing to
are
buy. Stupid
Ooze,
Phantasma.
so the ooze gets rid of your Oberon endurance.
Oh shit. How?
What?
Yeah, click on it. I think it does. It's either this. There's 2 different oozes. I'm not sure if this is the ooze that does it.
This one is writhing.
How would
This
I
one
know
might
what it
not be
does?
This one doesn't. It has a debuff on it that will tell you that it does. So this one doesn't.
Oh, that's good. Because
Yeah,
I
that
have
would've sucked.
200k HP and I'm attached to all of it.
You just buy it all, right?
I'm trying to think of a reason why I wouldn't.
Yeah, you buy it all.
Max health. Yep.
Mortal Strike cooldown reduction. 25%.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I'm not going to spend it elsewhere.
This is the last one, right?
I wish I'd gotten a rage mint, though. That would have been nice.
Remember, everything has value.
Alright. I can no longer jump. I can still heroic leap, though, I think.
Everything is negotiable.
I'm going to get some of these blinding capsules. I have no idea if it'll be
I
worth
still do an animation as though I'm jumping, but I never leave the ground.
Your
Oh, yeah, me too.
I
It's
just
like,
throw my
ugh,
hands back.
appreciated.
ugh, ugh.
No, I don't see you do it.
Okay, I don't see you do anything either.
Okay, you ready?
You ready to give us a try? Okay.
Yep.
Feeling pretty good. Let's go.
Greg, you have the same amount of health as a normal boss in a normal Torghast.
True.
He does have a boatload of life. Oh my god, you're melting it.
He's doing 180k DPS.
No, Steve, no! Oh my lord! That's outrageous.
I guess I'll do add control.
Can you carry me later? Holy smokes.
I'm catching up as the pull goes on. I'm not going to catch up though. Christ.
That's outrageous.
Layer 1 complete.
Grats.
What'd you loot? What's the big loots?
It's just
There's
quest.
no loot.
There's no loot. It's
Length of light infused chain.
It's just for the quest.
Just for the quest. I'll get
Huh.
50 soul ash and access to the twisting corridors. That's all it is.
50 soul ash for all of what? Okay, that's a. Is that not a feels bad reward?
I knew about it going in, though. I mean, like, it's okay. It's okay.
It's still a feels bad reward.
Well,
though.
and Steve is doing this for the second time,
Oh,
so I think he feels bad.
This was fun.
Yeah, actually, it's really fun. The power increase. I don't get why people complain about the boss being an impossible roadblock. I guess if you just pick
Well-
idiotic powers.
Probably depends on your class. Like, if you weren't invincible with 100% parry,
Yeah, but I turned down a lot of parry. Like, I only took half the parry options that were presented to me, and I have.
I guess it just depends on your class and what
I
you
have
can have.
I have 3 minutes of die by the sword on a 20-second cooldown, and I probably could have gotten 10-minute duration on like a 5-second cooldown. But why would I have done that? I don't know. Anyway, hang on. Before you go,
Is there work
you
to be
earned
done?
a thumbs up from me.
This place will tidy
Nice,
itself.
dude. I'm gonna see if that storm something Peridot is even worth. Oh yeah, did 300,000 damage.
Oh, I want to check my breakdown. So yeah, Lens of El Chaver.
Wait, what?
You
What is
you
that?
I don't know. Oh, I think it's the proc on my weapon enchant. Can that be right? Did it do 7% of my damage?
That can't be right.
that's a anima power, right?
It must
When
be.
you
That's
crit
an anima
strike.
power.
Yeah, I think it's the
Yeah.
lightning strike
Yeah.
thing.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, that's not nature though. That's arcane. Where did you get your nature damage from?
The lightning strikes. Lightning dust,
Oh,
lightning
lightning
force.
dust. Okay. Okay.
It doesn't do shit for damage though.
Right.
Oh yeah, this is my weapon enchant, 0.1%. I wonder for overall though. Let's look at the overall.
Just whirlwind and execute.
How do I change this? I'm such a fucking boomer. Everything? Yeah, okay. Yeah, overall, you out damage
You're
by
right.
quite a
whirlwind
bit.
and execute.
If I was looking at just... Why is it the same for everything? Oh, overall data. That's what I want. Yeah, so overall, you beat me by a little bit. By about... Actually, under 1 million. We did a combined, like, 68 million damage, and you beat me by under 1. That's pretty equivalent, actually.
Okay, but why am I seeing we did 73 million damage and I beat you by 10?
Oh, I think it's because you're counting your pets. Which you probably should.
Probably should.
So, according to my meter, you did 34, I did 33, Cold Stomp the Griever did 11, and Courser did 7.
Yep. Cold Stomp's my boy.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Stomp stuff until they're cold.
And also get healing done. I beat you on healing. I healed almost 1 million damage from Hurricane Heart, which is the anima power that makes my whirlwind heal me. 4 times as much as I healed from Blood Gorge Leech and Ignore Pain. Yeah, that's pretty good. Cool. Well, let's go turn. I'm gonna go turn this in Orbos and see if it was worth the bother. I guess I have at least 8 more of these to look forward to.
If you... Well, 7 more if you want to do them all.
8 weeks of streaming content. I don't know if that's gonna happen. That was actually quite fun, though. I just wish there was more
Yeah.
more to it in terms of like the outcomes. Will would have hated it. Not anywhere near enough rewarding for him.
Well,
Not
it's just a
worried.
bit of a feel bad.
Yeah. Oh, wrong way. No, right way. So how are you liking your choice of playing Hunter overall, Steve?
It's just weird. I've played Warrior so long that I'm like still not used to it.
Are you finding things about it that you like better than playing Warrior?
Well, it's so much easier to do world content, solo stuff,
Hmm.
because my pet just takes all the damage.
That's interesting. It's been that way ever since the beginning, right?
I think so.
Stand together.
All right, what does Bolvar have to say? 3 sure signs of Anduin's presence, yet no sign of him. This is dire news indeed. You've done everything in your power to locate King Anduin inside Torghast. I fear we could spend a lifetime searching those endless corridors to no avail. And I probably will. We must know what fate has befallen him. To peer into the tower represents a grave risk. Yet, haven't we already gone around this fucking horn with you, Bolvar? Peering into the whatever.
He's doing it again.
Stand with me, Deeg. Yeah, are you telling me that you could have done this instead of sending me on that fucking quest?
Yeah, but he needed proof of the signs that he's there, right?
I wish the
Duh.
gating was a little less, like, fourth wall busting. I just wish. Stand with me, Deeg. Help me use the broken helm of domination to see into that hellish place. I was just there, man. Why didn't you come? Oh, I'll get a bunch of soul ash out of it, though.
Be restored.
It's fine, I guess. I'm so little, I have to jump up on the table to use it. Like a 2-year-old trying to eat at the adult's table. Oh, we're getting a cinematic.
Cinematic time.
I saw this on
I do
YouTube.
hope you've settled in. The accommodations are a bit
I know. I know.
sparse. I know.
Where are the others? Are they safe?
Safe? No. I wouldn't say any of them are safe.
I am so tired of your games.
The facial animation they use in these
As
is
you
pretty good.
wish.
Do you think this is in engine? I'm gonna say
No
no.
more secrets.
It's
no
weird
more
that
lies.
if it's not in
You
engine, they
are a
wouldn't
weapon we will
use higher quality
to
assets.
achieve our ends.
I will not become an instrument of death.
So you
I
favor
think they want it to be
life.
almost
Is that it?
in engine.
That momentary flicker.
Yeah.
Every
So you're not, like,
cruel
completely
second
thrown.
spent delaying the inevitable in an endless war that you, like every Rin before you, will not survive. You know the truth. Nothing is fair. Not life, not death. So we're going to tear it all down.
And what purpose would that serve? Everyone suffers, Sylvanas. But destroying everything will not take away the pain.
Oh, you misunderstand. We're breaking a system that has always been flawed and remaking it into one that is just.
Do you expect me to believe that all this time, you've been fighting for justice?
How can I convince you? From our first breath to our last, every decision is made for us. Then, the afterlife decides what eternity we must endure. We can't even choose who we...
What was
We
she gonna say
couldn't
there?
control anything. But
Can't
through the
even control
jailer,
who we
control of our fate
Are
will
I
at
think.
last be possible.
is that
Look around
her
you
feels bad man about being turned into a
at what
banshee?
and who
Yeah,
you've
when
joined.
it wasn't under her choice.
What makes you believe you're not just a weapon?
Man,
to
I can't
achieve
pretend to
his
feel bad
ends?
about Sylvanas.
Seems like no one
You have a
can.
choice to consider. Join us
They really fucked up
willingly,
her arc, it sounds like.
or be made to serve.
I thought you believed in free will, Sylvanas.
We've never had free will, little lion. But that is about to change.
Cool. Sylvanas Windrunner cannot be allowed to carry out her plan. Bolvar is such a armchair general. Fucking backseat
yeah.
driving son of a bitch.
Still stuck in that chair at Ice Crown, dude.
All I can see.
He left his balls there.
Anduin? A weapon?
Whoa.
What could she mean?
Bane
His hammer's
standing
pretty
up.
Sweet,
At
though.
least he's alive, and seemingly unharmed. Whatever the Banshee is after, he will not give in.
The light is strong with Anduin. I know his heart will see him through this.
Sylvanas was toying with him. She spoke of breaking everything. She couldn't mean that, could she?
I do not know. But we must be cautious, deliberate. The jailer's malevolence permeates everything in that tower. If he believes his prize is in jeopardy, he may decide to discard it.
Then we must remain patient. Maw Walker, continue your efforts to undermine the jailer's cause.
Oh my god, I
When
feel
the
like I'm in a
time
gacha
comes,
game.
We will find Anduin. and
Pay
bring
$20 to advance to the next story step, or wait 1 week. I don't think I like the way this is unfolding. Like,
We've been time gated for years. I'm used to it.
is this like how like modern WoW works?
Yep.
They just dribble out like half an hour of story content behind hours and hours of grinding once a week for months.
Yeah, I mean, it's not all exactly the same, but it's all similar.
I guess like I kind of wish they would not either not talk to me or like not act like all the shit I'm doing is useful when clearly it's not. But then again, that's just the problem with MMORPGs is you're always the world's errand boy. Maybe I'm just spitting into the wind there. Anyway, we've conquered the twisting corridors. I think the stream is about over for the night.
Yeah, well, I'm going to bed.
You're going to bed. I should do the same here. And yeah, this is my first stream of the year. And I'm going to look back at it and see if this is something I want to do again. And if so, then I'll probably be back at the same time next week. Maybe not World of Warcraft, but something else. All right. Well. Everyone out there, have yourself a good night.